There are many difficult tracks on the NASCAR calendar. We go to many different road courses, many different speedways of all different types with all different bankings, but in most drivers' mind, there's one track above all else that's one of the trickiest to deal with, and it's not the tricky triangle at Pocono. It's the track too tough to tame here at Darlington International Raceway. Hello, my name is Finny DeCuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy. Gentlemen, I'm glad to be back with you here for probably one of the most anticipated races here for me, at least, watching these Pro Series cars head around here at Darlington.
Yeah, us three haven't done a series, a race in a while, so this one should be fun, especially doing it at Darlington. This has been a tough track all week long. It's proved too tough to tame, especially Monday night, where 16 yellows plagued the 204-lap race is what it ended up being. Cleaner race Tuesday night with pretty decent racing. The Xfinity cars are a whole different beast. These things are going to be wild to control all day long with a race in the day like we saw Tuesday night, but that track temp's not too high, Hunter, so we might not see that much slipping and sliding than what we're used to.
Going to be a good race overall nonetheless. Got tons of decent names up here. Got Justin Munsell at the top of the practice board with just a minute left over in practice, and Alan Elwood, James Scioli, guys that are known for running well at this type of racetrack. And you see after they're on the point standings, James Scioli 4 wins to his name this season, along with Jake Nichols, Shane Tyrion last week at Charlotte, and then Richard Thomas all the way back in Daytona, all locked in with a win. Connor Yurashak still looking to get that first win, plus 74 above the cutoff line, along with Hearn, Beckner, Bell, Furness, Brendan Bowie, and Greg Mitchell, along with Senesac holding the final playoff spot as we head into the Lady in Black.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, right? Because we're getting down to the nitty-gritty in this season. So if you're not locked in, you really need to start pushing harder, especially the guys that are closer to 20th in the standings. You really need to start making that push. Well, let's take a look at the team standings coming into tonight. Got Low Dollar Racing leading the standings, and the interesting thing is they don't have a single win to their names so far. They've gotten really close, but not yet. David Weishart, 4 names to their win, but they're still lagging a little bit behind in the points. And then you got Physicus, Rev Motorsports, Sky Motorsports, Elwood Designs, Esports, IRLC, Powerhouse, Bowie, and Central United rounding out the teams.
Yeah, one of the closest team points battles right now. They're only separated by 6 points, but like you said, Low Dollar Racing, no wins considering as they're branded Miller Racing in the other 2 series. They've been pretty dominant, but not dominant that they are still on top of the points, still ahead of the 5-win DWR team. But last time we went out, it was Shane Therian taking that checkered flag like Hunter alluded to at Charlotte, which I believe was like 3 weeks ago now at this point. That was for Sky Motorsports, led 9 laps, a topsy-turvy race with tire strategy. It's kind of how we saw Monday night end, with tire strategy kind of dictating the win. Thank you very much. But we didn't really see that Tuesday night for the most part. We did see Jake Matheson on Tuesday night try some tire strategy. Did not work out. Too hard to pass, I think, Tuesday night for that to happen as we roll into qualifying, Hunter. But I think there's going to be much more tire wear if we get longer runs. These Xfinity cars, these tires will get chewed up, as Nico Garcia is one of the first ones to come out on track.
Garcia is still looking for his first win of the season, as is all the horses in the stable for Low Dollar Racing. I was going to allude to the fact that they are atop of the team standings, even though none of their drivers have wins on the season. But you look at where their drivers are in the point standings. The lowest one in point standings is Mason Kingman. He's 14th in the standings. That just shows how fast and how consistent Low Dollar Racing is. And Yurashak only 34 points behind Jake Nichols in the driver's standings. But got to go back to qualifying as Nico Garcia goes through turn 2 in Finian. That's going to be treacherous all night. The exit of turn 2 and turn 4.
Yeah, it really is. You can watch him wheeling this thing, even in the middle of 3 and 4. You can see him a little bit at putting steering angle into the right-hand side, running around here. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these guys are going to have 2 laps here like they did on Monday night. Nico Garcia across the line will be the first driver to set a time down. Going to be sitting up there with a 29.157. We'll see how the rest of the competitors can line up to that. Richard Thomas across the line, he's up to second place. It's a slow trickle of drivers. Not a whole lot of drivers heading out there at the moment immediately.
And it is 1 lap only, like we had Monday night.
Are you sure? I thought it was 2 laps Monday night.
No, I hit the wall lap 1. That was all I had.
Okay. I saw guys with 2 laps, and that's why I was surprised. I was like, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to have 1 lap here. So that makes more sense. So 1 lap for these drivers. Alex Bell up to 4th, gets put forth actually immediately as Garrett Grant jumps up ahead of him. Ed Robertson out there in his lap in the 64 had a fairly miserable time on Monday night. Had some choice words to say. We think he's going to be hoping for a better run here on Thursday. Across the line for him, 30.105. He's going to be near the bottom of the list when all the rest of the times come on through. Jeremy Miller in the number 30. He comes flying out of turn 4. He's going to be starting his lap.
That's my pick. No, I'm just kidding. He's my driver, though. And that's one thing. We still got to know some of the throwbacks. Not everyone running a throwback. That was a big slide in turn number 1. These drivers are going to be on edge with the cold tires. Only one lap of qualifying as he got really close to that outside wall. This is a Jamie McMurray throwback. He won with this scheme 2004 at Rockingham in the Busch Series. It was one of the few times this scheme ran with the number 30 on it. So Jeremy and I kind of like, though he almost in the wall, but we like the obscure schemes. I didn't really go that obscure, but this is kind of pretty obscure. There's only 5 pictures of this on Google as he goes up in 7th out of 11 to put a time down.
So
Ed Robertson, Ed Robertson, one of the paint schemes designed by Slinger Racing Graphics, who's sponsoring the whole weekend for area at Darlington. He's got the 04 Tony Stewart car from the Busch Series, matching the McDonald's scheme, and then there's another one from Slinger Racing Graphics. It's Ben Pierce. I'm not sure if he's on track or has been on track yet, but it's a Kevin Harvick throwback. The Powerade car he ran back in, again, 2004 in the Busch Series, so a couple good schemes there as JT Poole works his way through turn 4.
Coming flying off of turn 4, we'll see if it's going to be a good enough time for number 26 car. You see him looking down, a bit of a shrug, wasn't too happy with it. Up to 4th though, so not bad, but I guess he's feeling it's not good enough.
Jesus, he's really not happy. See that scream. Times coming down more frequently now. It's a little later in the day than I thought it was, so it's not going to be like a pure day race that we saw on Tuesday night. It's more closer to what we had Monday night with the Cup Series. AJ Roderick across the line. Hey, look at that. It almost looks like Interstate Batteries from far away. He goes 16th position. Let's go, Daddy. That's either Danica Patrick or Mark Martin. Could be either one. But look at the time sheet. Oh, it could be Keselowski. That could be Keselowski.
Yeah,
either way, I was
it could
about to
be
look at the times. I was about to look at the times. Mason Kane's gone pole. Justin Anasogak in 3rd. He had a great run Tuesday night in the Truck Series. Almost stole one away from John Hall. Couldn't get there in the end, but this is looking like to be his track.
This is indeed his track. His first ever start in area was in the Pro Series at this track. Won in his first ever start. We had no clue who this kid was. We just called him the Eskimo because all we knew is that he was from Alaska and that he likes to race cars. So that's a good sign there. And yeah, he almost won here Tuesday night in the Truck Series and has a pretty good shot starting inside the top 5, but still a handful or so more to go out and put down a time, and one of those being the 18 of Colin Fambro in the Pepsi machine.
He's just gotten out on track. I was watching Brandon Bowie going around because there's no drivers are out on track. Only 18 down, about half the field left to go. As we tick over to now 5 minutes remaining in the session, everyone waiting to the last possible second. And Connor, I got to ask you, it's obviously the sun setting. Is it really going to make that much of a difference?
Gonna make a little bit. The track time's been going down a little bit, but with the track beaten down in the sun, cold tires, you're still gonna see slip and sliding. It's just tough to put a time down in general, but I think it's more of a mental thing. As Fambro's going to hit the wall, that lap will not count for anything, but it's more of a mental thing. You can go out straight away, go out with 2 minutes to go. You might run the same time either way, but you really need to play got to play the weather a lot. I know Jake Nichols, not Jake Nichols does this, but I know I do this every time I'm looking in practice. I'm looking at weather. I will set up a camera so I can see the sun and see if it's going to be hit by a cloud. So everyone's always looking at the weather as Fambro comes across the line. Like I said, that lap won't count, but you're always trying to pay attention to make sure you do get the best track conditions, and that's definitely why everyone's waiting. Yeah.
Greg Mitchell coming across the line is number 2, waiting for him, up to 5th for him. Casey Lakatos came across the line, the number 50, up to 8th place for Lakatos, and he jumped in fairly late into the session, so good to see him there. Eric Wineland, for a very familiar name, is running out on track here. He's in the middle of his flying lap in the number 66.
See what he can do. You really want to run that bottom line in 3 and 4 tonight. That top line's going to be tough to get any grip as he's going to blink out. We'll see if that hurts his lap or even...
Ooh, that might.
See if it even counts. If you blink that much, it might not count, and I do not see a time put down. Times are crucial today. We got one more entry, so we are actually sending one driver home tonight, but one driver who's not going home is Jake Nichols, leader of the points with 1 win, leader of the points by a wide margin, too. This is a David Rudiman throwback to 2007, and I learned, as he goes 3rd on the timing sheet behind Mason Kay and Cameron Hearn, I learned today David Rudiman finished 2nd in Busch Series points, which seems pretty wild, but either way, it's a good-looking car.
Well, they always say no one ever remembers who finishes 2nd. Isn't that right, Hunter?
That's true. I did not know he finished 2nd in 07, and do know he won in 2011. and in 2009. Actually, no, we didn't win in 2011. 2010. Won it.
2010.
Yes.
And
He won a
Chicago
Busch race in 2007.
Did he?
Yeah, it was like a wreck fest at Memphis. It was really a really bad race. And there was like no cup drivers in it, so, say what you want about that. I'm actually making sure I look at Racing Reference right now. He finished second in points. He was 618 points behind Carl Edwards. So
Brad
that's
Slaughter
sort of
across the line in 6th. James Scott, although he also came sneakily across the line, going to be up on top in the number 7 machine.
Also got word from Jacob Bell is Ryan Swan's going to forfeit his spot, so just to let everyone else run, Ryan Swan's going to be the DNQ in the 54 car, as he didn't put a time down anyways, so he'll be the one going home, so no one else going home as we look at Munsell and his Matt Kenseth throwback through 3 and 4.
Ryan Swan was really looking forward to this too, but guess that's what he is after all, just a real team player. Wanted everyone to have their own set of fun here at the Lady in Black, and Justin Munsell, top of the sheet in practice, but not the same in qualifying.
Yeah, a couple drivers struggling. Justin Munsell in 26, Travis Beckner in 29. Drivers that did end up putting a time down. So, if anything, it'll be entertaining for everyone watching because they're going to be definitely driving through the order. Connor Yurshak in the number 12. He comes flying off the corner, and his Clues Pine schemes no throwback for the number 12 car. But as he comes flying across the line, will this car be up near the top? It'll be pretty decently up inside the top 10. Well, be inside the top 10 towards the back half in 8th place.
He's a driver. He's been in play for every win this season. It seems like there hasn't been a race this season where he hasn't been competing for the win, but he just has not been able to break through, whether it's Scioli taking it, Nichols. Last week it was Shane Therian with the tire strategy getting that win, and as we see John Furness coming on track. There's always a number of factors that play into why you haven't won or why you haven't gotten good finishes. Euroshak, it definitely hasn't been the speed that's been his issue. He's had the speed to win every single week. Just needs to get a little bit of luck to go his way to just finally break through. It's kind of what John Furness had to go through for very long. It took a while for him to get his first win.
Furness going to have a few seconds to spare here as time is dwindling down in qualifying. Not sure if it's going to be good enough for a pole time as he works his way down the backstretch, but we'll see where he ends up as he rolls into 3 and 4.
Literally waiting to the last possible second. 10 seconds on the clock as he comes out of turn 4. Thing is, will it be a decent enough time? Across the line for John Furness. Going to be a 29.194 thing that should put him in the top 10. Oh, only 15th actually for him as qualifying has wrapped up.
Yeah, he's 2/10 off the pole, but he's 15th. But put that in perspective, he's only about a 10th off of 4th place, and he's 11 spots off. So very close for everyone around that top 5 to top 20 range, as he'll have to come through the field a little bit as qualifying ends up. A number of drivers put times down. Like we said, Ryan Swan will be the driver going home by choice, so everyone else can race, as we should have a pretty fun race on our hands. 130 laps, not 200, so do not panic. It's not a long race tonight.
Also want to take this time to remind people, race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes that you can use in the chat. You'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. That's the Area iRacing Twitch channel. Here, as we got qualifying complete, here we got the race coming up. Connor, you mentioned, got 130 laps, much shorter than what we had on Monday. So what's going to be the big key for these drivers here tonight? Obviously, slightly different car, more similar to the truck series car than the Cup car. So what's going to be the biggest challenge for these drivers dealing with tonight?
Well, obviously, track position is going to be the biggest thing you want. It's just how Darlington is in every single car. You need the track position, but more crucial than ever tonight is going to be the tire conservation. These Xfinity cars, they will eat the tires up. We saw 3 seconds worth of tire wear 3 weeks ago in Charlotte, so you can only imagine what it's going to be at Darlington tonight. This track chews the tires to the points where even extra pit stops might be in order just to make extra time. So we've really got to be careful to see how these front runners either chew their tires off or don't chew their tires off. Mason Kane pretty fast last week or Tuesday night in the truck series, but when those tires wore, he started falling back big time. Travis Beckner was kind of similar, but he was able to maintain track position. So if you can keep the tires on it just a little bit, as long as you can still defend, you should keep that track position. But we might see a lot of early pit stops because especially the right front on this Xfinity Series car is going to be completely dead by the end of a long run, if we get one.
All right, here we got the gridding here, so we've got to take a chance to thank our starting grid sponsor, Roasted Gems Coffee. Race fans, start your engine with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. We got a big field of drivers here, so let's get through your starting lineup here on pole. It's going to be James Scioli in the number 7 machine, next to Mason Kane in the 31, rolling off in second.
Alan Elwood, who's been close here at Darlington, he'll try to win. He starts third. Cameron Hearn, alongside him, the 4 car, starts fourth.
Moving on back to fifth place, it's going to be Jake Nichols in the number 73. We'll see what he can do in his Toyota Supra. Next to Brad Slaughter Jr. in 6th in the number 8 car.
Justin Sogak finished second on Tuesday. He starts 7th tonight, alongside the driver's been pretty fast, but hasn't gotten that win, Connor Yaroshak in the 12.
Moving on back to 9th, it's going to be David Weishart at number 33. Next to Matthew Bell in 10th place in the number 43 car.
Number 41, Nico Garcia starts in the 11th position. Greg Mitchell, that Rusty Wallace throwback, starts 12th.
Moving on back to 13th, it's going to be Garrett Grant in the number 5 machine. Next to Ryan Hart's going to be rolling off in the 3 in 14th.
Pair of fast drivers starting a little further back than they probably wanted. John Furness in the 28th, 15th. JT Poole starting in the 16th position.
Back in 17th is going to be Nick Massey in the number 20. Bronson Stafford next to him in the number 61, rolling off in 18th.
Case Lacatus and a Ryan Newman throwback in his Supra. Midnight Energy Supra starts 19th. Richard Thomas, our Daytona winner, starts 20th.
Moving on back to 24th, it's going to be Shane Abbey in the number 84 car. Next to him, Alex Bell is going to be rolling off in the 15 car in 22nd.
Brody Falliker, he's missed a few races this season, but he's been rebounding as of late. He starts 23rd. Jordan Martin and one of the Germain Racing throwbacks at 38, famous in the Busch Series, he starts 24th.
Moving on back to 25th, it's going to be Bryce Senezek in the number 09. Next to him, Delonte Ballard in 26th in the 21 car.
Danny Ware, the number 49, 27th position. Then Ballard's teammate starts right behind him. It's Jeremy Miller, that McMurray throwback I was talking about, starts 28.
Moving on back to 29, it's going to be Clayton Montgomery in the number 45 car. Next to him, Sean Petchin in the 69, rolling off in 30th.
The Best Buy throwback, Justin Munsell, fastest in practice, but much slower in qualifying. He starts 31st in his field, alongside Joey Chapman in the 60, 32nd.
Moving back to 33rd, it's going to be Ben Pierce in the number 65 car. Travis Beckner next to him in the 34th place into the 27 car.
The Powerade throwback we were talking about, Ed Robertson, that 64 starts 35th tonight. AJ Roderick alongside him starts 36th.
Moving on back to 37, it's going to be Steve Durham in the number 1 machine. Next to him, Brandon Bowie in the 23 car in 38th.
39th, Eric Weiland at 66. An open car gets in. Then Shane Thierry, and last race's winner at Charlotte, he starts back in 40th.
Moving back to 41st, Eugenio Alonso in the 86 car. Colin Farmer rolling off in 42nd in the number 18 car.
Then 43rd, our final starter will be Jeffrey Wilson. Ryan Swan not making this race. Full field of 43 drivers who are already going to green, and screw it, I might make my pick while I can. I'm picking Alan Elwood. He's hungry for a win.
All right, Hunter, what's your pick?
Yaroshak.
You're a Shaq. All right, I'm going to go with James Scott. I'm going to be boring because this man's leading the field and dominant this season. Hey, I didn't have much time to make a pick. I got to make it quick here. And it's going to be potentially a quick 130 laps for these drivers. We will see as the green flag is out in the air here at Darlington.
No, spin, and a Sogak's around off of 2. Into the wall hard.
And I think he's going to be far enough off the track that a caution will not trigger. Indeed, we will remain green, as he's already struggling early on and gets put way back down the order. And as you mentioned, heavy damage for him. We'll take a look and see your Simrat market replay quickly to see what happened.
Kind of on his own, I think, and hit that inside wall pretty hard, Hunter.
He looked like he might have had a little bump from the 12 of Yaroshak. No, I don't think he ever
Maybe the
made
8.
contact.
Might come up in a slaughter.
Yeah, I think it might have been a hip check for him. He's down on pit lane, though, to get that car repaired. Meanwhile, up in front, Mason Kane leading the field, taking away from the number 7 Skylight. It's Hurd, Elwood, Nichols, your top 5.
Yeah, those initial starts, everyone gets an even jump at it, so the leader can't really get a jump away. So that Mason Kane allowed him to run that top side and get it back from Scioli. So pretty important there to get the position, as Brad Slaughter, Connor Yaroshak are going to be the first side-by-side battle on track. This is for 6th now after the 88's issues.
And number 12 going to try and look to the outside. Meanwhile, a little further back, Greg Mitchell below the 41 of Nico Garcia with the 43 of Matthew Bell, not Richard Petty, but a nice throwback for the 43 as Euroshacks on the outside, and Slaughter's going to give him the edge going into turn 1.
And Yarchak line up ahead of the number 8 machine. Meanwhile, behind them, that battle still going on. Nico Garcia winning out against Greg Mitchell. As Mitchell is still trying to make that pass on the number 41, he's going to look to the inside. It's so tempting to make that look. It's just a matter of executing. And here comes Ryan Hart's now trying to take advantage of the situation. He's looking around the top side.
We already saw Yershak make that outside move in turns 3 and 4, and he made it work. We didn't really see a lot of moves up there when we were in the Cup car. We saw more in the Truck Series Tuesday night, but the topside 3 and 4 looks much more racy right now, but it's tough to do this through 1 and 2, but Mitchell gives him room and Hartz is through.
Yeah, Truck Series, they were going 3 wide in the turns. I didn't even know that was possible, but they made it work somehow. As a little further back is the 37 Richard Thomas and the Kevin Harvick throwback running in the 18th spot, trying to take that position away from 17th Bronson Stafford. The 61, I haven't seen him too much today, and going to hold clear of that 17th position.
Out of this fantastic battle for second place, Skyly, Hearn, Elwood, all nose to tail. A little bit of a gap ahead to the leaders, but essentially is a top 4 breakaway. And really all 3 of these guys have been catching back up to Mason Kane in 31.
Yeah, Mason Kane, like I said, Tuesday night, his long run pace kind of faded. He had good short to mid run pace, but he was pretty off pace as we got the tires worn out. We'll see if that's different and cleaner this time tonight. And like you said, it is a 4-car breakaway. Jake Nichols, I know he saves tires. He really values saving tires, so I'm sure he's letting those top 4 go right now. But it's got to be careful because Connor Euroshak is pushing hard to get back to him as Hurd looks outside through 3 and 4. Trying to get that run on Skyoli, but nothing doing yet.
And there's back to the 3 of Ryan Arts running the Dale Senior Gold Bass Pro Shops throwback scheme, but with Ben MGM on the car, and right behind him is Greg Mitchell. The old Rusty Wallace throwback for the number 2 running in the 12th spot. Oh, that's such a good look at the car. And then here's some Mellow Yellow and Richard Petty action. Matthew Bell in the 43 running in 9th, and then in front of him is not Brad Slaughter, that's David Weishart in the 33 Mellow Yellow throwback. In front of him was Brad Slaughter. Back here, though, Richard Thomas on the downfall, and we'll see a replay of what happened to cause him to lose so many spots.
Yeah, it looks like maybe hit check or contact with the 61, but had some contact entering turn 1, and he went spinning off to the infield. He's able to recollect it, though, but lost quite a few spots. I just saw him tumbling down the order. I had to find out what happened to him.
Oh, and he's going to get turned for turn 2. And that was him and Joey Chapman getting together. Look out, everyone else. I think everyone's going to miss him. Caution is out this time. Wow, that was close.
Well, that was a perfect cut if I've ever seen him back to the live shot. See what happened to him.
Just a squeeze out of turn 2. Kind of saw that happen a few times this week. Chapman gets away with it a little bit. Richard Thomas, not so much.
Trying to find, there's Joey Chapman, trying to find where he is on the timing and scoring. He's riding on board with the number 60 car.
See how much room he gave. And yeah, there's not much he could really do there, I don't think. Ooh, I think Ben Pierce who barely got through. That was close.
I want to take a look at what his point of view in this. And it's hard to with that sun as well, that glare. Oh. It makes it significantly worse, and you're just able to avoid calamity.
And just barely able to, as we get about 8.5, 9 laps of green flag racing in, and that will bring our first caution, our first set of yellow flag pit stops. Bronson Stafford from 17th. He's the first one to come down, but not too many follow him.
Yeah, just need to note the 4-car breakaway from the early stint there with Mason Kane. Skyle, looking for his 3rd straight win here at Darlington. Cameron Hearn won the season opener. Well, actually, I shouldn't say series opener back in season 1 when area first began. And then Alan Elwood, the season 2 winner from Darlington. Has been a while since Elwood's been back in victory lane. So all these guys eager to get their first win of the season. Well, other than Skyoli, but Mason Kane currently leading.
Sorry, Justin Anasoga got the lucky dog. He came around. He might have even hit Mason Kane out of turn 2.
Oh boy, I gotta take a look at that and see.
I don't think there was any damage, but that was insanely scary. Look at this.
Whoa! Oh, he hit the wall himself.
Yeah, he hit the wall coming around. You gotta yell coming outside or something, but he gave him room. He just ran out of it. Look at this. That could have been really bad.
It definitely could have been really bad. I mean, not every day you see the lap car take out the leader under caution, but I mean, hey, I've seen fire and I have seen rain. I mean, if anything, it would have been, I feel like, more fitting if we had, where is he? David Weiser? David Weiser running the yellow mellow car. Hit the pace car.
Seen sunny days I thought would never end. It's funny. He put that throwback in the paint scheme chat in our area Discord. Join that, by the way, if you haven't. But he put this in a chat. The picture of the old car, it wasn't to the Kyle Petty car. He posted the when Larson threw back to this car. So I don't know if it's a throwback to the Larson throwback or just a throwback to Kyle Petty. I think it works for both, though. So either way, it looks nice.
Trying to go through the field here since we're under caution. You can get a whole really particularly great chance to look at some throwbacks. Nick Massey, I don't think this is a throwback, but good to see Nick Massey back in the field.
A Newman throwback? Might be a Newman throwback.
That's as closest I can come to it. I know the 50 is definitely a Newman throwback for sure. As JT Poole, I know he put this in chat. I just don't know which version of this scheme it is, because it could be Kyle Busch, it could be...
Yeah, that's what I initially thought Kyle Busch, but it also could be Casey Mears. I think more
Mark Martin.
09 Mark Martin.
Oh yeah, 09 was Mark Martin.
That is what it was. That is what it was. That's funny. Like me and Kyle Tuesday night. I think Mason Kane's throwback is like the 51 truck that Kyle Busch always ran, but it was a Shane Sieg throwback because Shane Sieg ran that truck, and we're like, oh, okay. Nice Jimmy throwback. Shane Abbey always throwing back to Jimmy Johnson.
That's so weird to consider Jimmy Johnson a throwback. It's not even like the original low scheme too. It's like one of the later ones. But I actually kind of really like this kind of iteration of the low scheme. Although the classic one's always classic to me.
Yeah, obviously these are a little more of a reach, but also I had drivers throw back the 3 years ago to themselves, so I can't really complain too much. Shane, but that scheme's probably 10 years old at this point. It might even be 11 coming this year,
God,
so I think it counts. I like the schemes that are obscure, like Brad Slaughter Jr.'s. I think that was a Ducks Unlimited Dale Jr. scheme that never ran. It's pretty funky, but it looks good.
I was gonna say I never recall ever seeing this paint scheme. And I know I missed out on some paints, but definitely an interesting color scheme. Gotta say for the number 8.
Euroshack throwing it back to his Daytona opener.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, technically it's a throwback. Well, we're going to be throwing it back to green here in just a little bit. Mason Kane leading him down, as opposed to James Cowley led down initially to green as we're back green here at Darlington. Kane off and away. Scioli and now Cameron Hearn poking his nose, trying to see if he can take second place.
I think Scioli just going to give it to him. I don't think he wanted to go down there side by side. Same thing for the Nichols and Elwood battle. So Nichols up to 4th. Scioli back to 3rd. Hearn up to 2nd. Mason Kane got away from all that as scrambling going down the back straightaway, but everyone's still straight somehow as Wineland way low on the apron in the back.
Yeah, first car nearly scraped the wall there. I believe it was Nico Garcia coming out of turn 2. Got really close to it, but see the battle with Sean Peachin and the 30 of Jeremy Miller just outside the top 20. Meanwhile, Scioli down to 3rd. Hearn on the bumper of Mason Kane looking for the race lead. He's going to try and apply more pressure in the middle of 3 and 4.
Let's see what he can do here. He's hungry for it. You can see him looking up on the top. You can hear the tires screaming from underneath. He is pushing hard, trying to get past this 31. Some might argue he's pushing maybe a little bit too hard early on.
You've seen that happen with Hearn in the past as well. You know he wants to clean air at a track like Darlington, and I think Mason Kane knows how important it is. He throttled up out of turn number 4 to kind of prevent that top line from getting the run off, but Hearn's going to pressure him this entire run as long as he can. So he's going to show the nose to the inside, then swoop back to the outside, kind of trying to fool the 31 a little bit. Gets close to that right rear, almost being able to keep overlap, but tight out of turn 4. Kane might have tapped the wall. They might have both tapped the wall as Hearn's going to swerve a little bit here, protect from Scioli.
Scioli in 3rd on board with him. Jake Nichols now up to 4th as Elwood's dropped down to the 5th spot as they're rolling through turn 2 and on to the backstretch. 3-car length lead for Mason Kane, and there's a tap into the wall. That was Nico Garcia. Was getting close to hitting that wall and just did it right in front of the 33 of Weishart.
Yeah, some decent contact with the wall. He'll keep that position, though, ahead of the 33. Bunch them up a little bit, but he's off and away. In the background, I see Best Buy car. That is
Justin Munsell.
Yeah, Justin Munsell. I'm trying to find where he is down the order.
25th.
There he is. A little bit further down the order than what I would expect. He started back in 31st, up to 25th at the moment.
Same thing for Travis Beckner. He's pretty fast here. He's been fast here, but him and Justin Munsell did not get the positions. They started right next to each other as well, 34th and 35th. Beckner's 34th and 31st, excuse me, but they are up a decent amount of spots, but so hard to pick your way through this field. Oh, Wineland got doored from Bronson Stafford. Oh, excuse me, Fambro doored by Bronson Stafford. That was tight, but that's what happens here as, oh, we got sideways. Ed Robertson spinning. Looks like he gotta watch out the rejoin. Ooh, boy, he saved it somehow. Let's not get another rant. We gotta listen in, just in case.
There's Eric Wineland in the background getting hit on the front straightaway, and then here heading off into turn 1. Did he have some help from the 6 to the 27 into the 64? Almost a little bit of a domino effect that sent him spinning.
Yeah, I was going to say, Munsell was getting close to putting pressure on the bumper of Travis Beckner because he was trying to gas up in the middle of 3 and 4, but can only go so much before he makes contact with Beckner. I think he got a little impatient there, and unfortunately, Ed Robertson is at the butt end of that deal as Mason Kane still leads, but look at this little tango line we got forming on 2nd through 6th.
And Connor Yurishak sitting, waiting in the wings here. Looks like he's tempted to make a move on Alan Elwood, just trying to find that right moment to strike. That's going to be a big thing for him.
Ooh, Munsell and Beckner are still going at it. Meanwhile, for the 23rd position, they made more contact. Munsell slides, saves it again, but I don't think he's happy Beckner's racing him for 23rd.
Yeah, I saw some flashing down here on the timing sheet. Take a look back what happened to them. They were exchanging paint. Oh yeah, running each other hard. And then the 6 getting back into the 27. Right there, that's where the 6 went spinning down to the infield, or almost spinning down to the infield. He's able to save it. I'm sure he's going to lock that in and remember that for later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, Beckner's one of the hardest drivers to pass, so I get it. But Munsell did kind of come up in front of him, or into his side. The battling is always volatile at this track because if you don't get by someone, they keep holding you up, you get upset. And I feel like I'm starting to see that from Jeremy Miller. He's been stuck behind Sean Peachin for a few laps now, as now Beckner's closing in on that battle. Back on Bronson Stafford. Bronson Stafford's the driver blinking very badly. He might be. Oh, we got a crash!
Up ahead.
Oh, it's big crash. Mitchell, Hartz, Garcia. I think Greg Mitchell. Yeah, that was a huge crash.
Destroyed. Caution out.
Senesac's involved in that as well.
Fortunate to see that. Let's take a look at your Simrad market replay to find out what on earth happened. I don't even know who started it.
I think I heard Hartz call it. It's their side-by-side battle, and
ooh, man,
they came
hard lick into the wall for him.
That was a huge hit. Almost looked like Garcia and Hartz came together. Miller somehow got through that, but I think Hartz went for the clear, and he just wasn't clear enough, and there's nowhere for Greg Mitchell to go at all.
We're going to see who else we can see an onboard from. See how Bryce Senezek found himself involved in that.
See it, yeah.
He was pretty far back from it.
There's it's all this room, but it all comes down at some point, and it looks like he just probably spun.
Ended up just spinning to avoid it. That's probably the best outcome that could have happened for that.
It was, it's not too bad for him. Looks like maybe too much rear brake, trying to hit the brakes, kind of got him involved in that, but Garcia kind of comes down. That's just kind of a product of how you race here at Darlington. JT Poole sneaks by. There goes Martin, Massey, and then Ballard and Miller. They were one of the last few to get through there by not having to really slow down too much, as a lot of drivers going to be out of the race after that one. Meanwhile, pretty much the majority of the field comes down for their first set of tires, besides Justin Munsell, who stays out.
I think Anna Sogak gets the lucky dog for that again, and if that's the case, he's only 1 lap down now.
Yeah, a couple people staying out. Looks like the top 8-9 have stayed out. Everyone else down on pit lane. Everyone actually that stayed out, except for Clay Montgomery, came in on the first caution. So I guess that explains the split in strategy. Everyone else coming down. Mason Kane leading them out. Jake Nichols, James Skyley, Connie Urshak, and Brad Slaughter the race off pit lane.
And that lucky dog for Anna Sogak that actually puts him on the lead lap. He went 2 down after his lap 1 incident, so he'll be back in back in the fight for sure after he had a great run Tuesday night. Going to have to really recover. He's got 100 or so laps to do it, though, so he's got time to do so, especially after the attrition rate just picked up. We've been losing about 10 to 15 cars per race this week, so that's probably the first bite this track's going to take out of you. No Dover, but Darlington will do it just the same. As I'm sure Ryan Hartz will be done for the night. Would not be too surprised. Same thing for maybe Greg Mitchell, although I think he actually is. No, yeah, Greg Mitchell and the 2 and the 3 are probably well past done, I would say.
And take a look at Bryce Senizek here, who just narrowly avoided that incident, had to spin himself out to avoid it. He'll continue on. He's back down in the pack, has not had the best of runs tonight. It was as low as 39th, started 25th, so I'm sure he's going to be hoping for some better fortune going forward for the rest of the night.
And that's
that Kevin Harvick comment I made Monday about him blinking a lot. Now he's wearing those thick glasses that Harvick wears.
You had some luck to get through a wreck like that unscathed, though. He's kind of in the middle of everything. But yeah, there's so many drivers there did a great job. Obviously I'm biased talking about Jeremy Miller, but I'm not even sure if Jeremy hit the brakes to get through that. It seemed like he just whipped the wheel left and then prayed, but it did work out for him. Same for, I think, Delonte Ballard around there as well. Number of drivers. It's funny because you don't think you can have much of a track blocker at Darlington because you do have all that pavement to the left, but it's flat. You can't really get down there. So when a wreck happens on the banking at speed, if you're right behind it, you're not getting through. As we're taking a look at our throwbacks, there's the Harvick, the Newman throwback we were talking about. It is so hard to avoid a crash in the corner. So a lot of drivers did a great job getting through that.
Yeah, another Ben Pierce. I want it. Is this a throwback? Not quite sure.
This is a Kevin Harvick throwback to the 2004 Busch Series, as was the 64 of.
That's why I don't recognize that. I didn't watch the Busch Series that far back. I only started watching, I think, 2007, 2008-ish. That's when I started getting into it.
That Ed Robertson car is definitely a Harvick throwback. Wasn't that the 92?
That's actually a Tony Stewart throwback to the
Did Stewart run the 92? I remember number 92.
Which one? This one?
Ed Robertson.
No.
I know that one. I've seen that one.
This is not to the McDonald's car?
Yeah, this is definitely McDonald's car.
2004 Tony Stewart in the Busch Series.
Really?
I believe that was was that the 33?
No, I looked it up. No. It is the 92. Tony did run it. So yeah, well, I just thought it was Harvick.
We got the Best Buy throwback up near the front. That car is leading. It's Justin Munsell, Bell, Folliker, Terrian, and Danny Ware, your top 5 coming back to green. We're green here again at Darlington with some new leaders and new faces up in the front of the field.
It's the furthest up that Michael Waltrip team's ever been. That 07 one, they DNQ'd like half that season. But Bell's got it in second. And this is, like you said, really going to shake up the field with drivers on older tires. That's how much track position matters. You're going to see people whipping through the field. As here goes Mason Kane, 3 wide into turn number 3. He wants to get back to the lead. They're going to be 3 wide into turn number 3. That's tough to do.
Yeah, he's got some fresh tires. Don't know if it's enough of there to keep that car around, and he's actually going to lose out as James Scully's going to skate on past him here. Drag race between Kane and Nichols, and up ahead of them, Joey Chapman and Danny Ware duking it out for 5th place.
And that's where patience matters. Mason Kane wanted 3 wide. He wanted those spots immediately. But now, instead of having control of the race on the guys with newer tires, he's going to the bottom, having to save it. And now he's losing control of this race completely, letting other drivers on new tires by. Euroshak, Jake Nichols all by him. And now it's James Scioli who might get the control of this race soon.
Yeah, it's gone from bad to worse for Mason Kane. As you see a Simrat Market replay, he's dropping back, losing positions, blinking in and out. And
we got a crash. Crash live. I couldn't see who that was, excuse you. That was Travis Beckner destroyed on pit road.
See what happened here. Spun off to the inside. We will remain green with that caution, or with that wreck coming out. Ooh, just tapped the door and a hard leg to the inside wall for the 27.
They destroyed that car.
Yeah, engine went, so he is done for the day so far. That's unfortunate to see after he was running pretty strong in the midfield, but didn't have the track position working for him. As we look at Mason Kane back now in 9th place, trying to get past Connor Urashak. Meanwhile, James Scully, his progress is stalled. He's trying to catch back up. He's been able to get past 49. He's got to catch up to Terrian, Folliker, Bell, and Munsell, the next drivers on his list.
Everyone else single file up there for now. First side-by-side battle, Brett Slaughter Jr. and some other drivers getting through Joey Chapman, who's on an older set of tires. Slaughter and Hearn past them into turn number 3. And we're seeing more side-by-side. It gets tight when this happens. It's Matthew Bell and Bronson Stafford. David Weishart kind of stuck at this point. Further back than that, Shane Abbey's getting by Delonte Ballard. That's around just outside the top 20.
Close quarters racing throughout the field. Cameron Hearn as well, trying to make the climb back inside the top 10. A little further up the road. That's in a Sogak. No, that's not in a Sogak. That's Jake Nichols actually running in the 6th spot. Danny Ware trying to keep Connor Euroshak back from passing him for 7th. They're going to go right behind him, close to making contact. Going to be tight coming out of 2. Euroshak
Comes
trying
Mason
to
Kane.
prevail.
He's going to shove his teammates.
Oh,
We might see more 3 wide.
Yeah, it looks like 31's going to lay off there for just a moment, going back a little bit further. JT Poole leading Bronson Stafford, Garrett Grant in their little battle in turns 3 and 4. A lot of stuff's kicked off now. A lot of drivers starting to get a little bit more aggressive here. Bronson Stafford, he's been dropping back after he stayed out under that last caution. He's one of the furthest drivers back, those that stayed out.
Kane tapped the wall, but he kept the spot, so
My
no
goodness.
drama there. Oh, that's an issue. Stafford in the wall, I think. He's been...
Jeremy Miller in the wall, actually.
Jeremy hit it as well. Doesn't seem like the damage. Him and Sean Peach will not stop battling. It's probably going to end badly soon. But Stafford's been blinking very badly a lot of this race, so we'll see if it gets worse. There's more contact. Miller back in the wall as they're all scrambling, trying not to go through red because you really don't want to have to go 3 wide. Miller is going to hit it again. Look out. It's going to save it.
Holy
Barely
cow,
gonna
how are
save
these
it.
guys not wrecking? I mean, Bronson Stafford at the wall a couple of laps ago, so maybe it's still evolving from that, but close call here for Jeremy Miller. Tapping the quarter panel of Colin Farnborough, and everyone keeps it straight for the meantime.
Makes it look easy, and he's still in a battle. It's not giving up yet. He's got Eugenio Alonso working around him. Now John Furness now on the 28-2 that side's the 30. Continues to drop back. We'll take a look what's going on with the leaders. Justin Munsell, a big lead ahead of the 15 of Bell, Folliker, Scioli. And then Shane Terrian rounding out your top 5. In behind them, Jake Nichols looking to the inside of Shane Terrian, and then beautiful number 9.
Latest winner at Charlotte, led 11 laps there, and he started 40th tonight, so it's not really surprising that he made this move to get track position. He'll probably pay off no matter what, because starting at pretty much last here, you're not really going to recover that easily. So just getting track position, you'll lose some here, but it'll be much better than where he was, as Euroshak, Mason Kane, they all fly by him, and now next up will be Slaughter and Cameron Hearn trying to work together to get by him.
Slaughter, Hearn, and Elwood there on the back end of that little checkup effect. Meanwhile, Brody Falliker going to drop a little here as he's getting passed by Jake Nichols and Connor Euroshak. And now looking to the inside, trying to get around him is Mason Kane, trying to make the charge back inside the top 5 and back into the lead where he once was. So P6 for Mason Kane, meanwhile Falliker down to 7th.
Folliker starting to drop back a little bit down the order as he's been getting shuffled on and backwards. As the drivers with fresher tires, their tires seem to be worn up and they're ready to go forward. Now Slaughter to the inside. Cameron Hearn waiting in the wings next in line. Shane Terrian still dropping a little bit back. It's to his inside, Alan Elwood, then Matthew Bell waiting in the wings.
Oh, only Mason Kane thought he'd get to the inside of Alex Bell there. They almost hit, but they'll be fine. Bell now really starting to fade here. But Justin Munsell, he's still out to a pretty decent lead, so it's going to take a little bit for Skyler to get to him. Meanwhile, everyone's still battling behind all that. Slaughter gets by Alex Bell now. Now Brody Falliker, Alan Elwood, that's for 9th. They're side by side, and Hearn's going to get under Bell out of turn number 4 and make that pass into turn number 1 most likely.
There's a pass you see right up the road. Hearn up to 7th. Bell down into 8th and getting caught up quick by the 10 of Alan Elwood, who made the quick climb inside the top 10. Falliker holding on to that 10th spot as a little further back. That's the 60 of Joey Chapman and making contact with the turn 1 wall. Oh, that Licata standing the wall back there? No, it's another black car.
I think it's Steve Durham.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's always the trouble when when it's throwback week. It's hard to tell who's who. Steve Durham in the number 1 car. Bit off the wall, bit off the pace. Just ahead of Case Licatis in 35th.
Meanwhile, that battle of a lead, they already caught Justin Munsell. Skyler's all over the back bumper into 3. He's just going to dive inside. He'll probably have the spot before the exit of turn 4, so that 7 car, after taking tires, getting by Mason Kane, is going to take control of this race. But Jake Nichols is going to be the next driver to follow through. and get to the second position. Then it's Euroshock trying to stay in line with those two, trying to stay with them. Mason Kane kind of struggling to keep pace with those three currently.
Euroshock.
Oh my gosh, Munsel's going to give Euroshock the spot in third. That was close there coming out of the turn. A little further back down the road, you see Matthew Bell peeking to the inside of Alex Bell for ninth on the racetrack. So
we got a
Bell's
crash.
opposition.
In the 3, Jeremy Miller is one of the cars around. Back into traffic.
Oh, gets hit by Ed
Robertson.
Robertson. Heavy damage further to 64, and the caution
No
is
caution.
not out. What on earth?
There is no caution.
Man, I swear, the lines at Darlington for the cautions are so... Oh, this is down the straightaway. Wow.
John
Looked
Furnace.
like Furnace kind of just split the middle and messed up. So, if Furnace said he didn't run into his car, I beg to differ, but we've seen a lot of incidents that happen like that this week, especially on Monday night, as we get a look how this started.
Where is the 28 running? There he goes, 24th. It's a massive run off the corner. Tries to shoot the gap. Unfortunately, the gap maybe a little bit too small there as it closes, and 31, the 30 really the big loser out of that, and then bam, a heavy hit with the 64.
Yeah, and that's race over for the 30. It seemed like he got a decent bit of damage for the amount of contact. So I wish they would update this track so that's actually a yellow, because that was as much of a yellow as you'll get at Darlington. But either way, we stay green, and Scioli continues to lead over Nichols and then Connor Euroshak. Oh, we got a caution. We got a crash out of 4. Big hit for Justin Anasogak.
Team stop there on the front straightaway. Let's take a look at your cinematic market replay to find what happened to him. Side by side with Stu Durham, and off the corner, the one gets loose. The 88, the big loser out of that. Oof. Big wreck there. And if I'm not mistaken, those two are teammates.
Yeah, that was about to say. I think those two are teammates, but they will not be. I'm sure that will be one to talk about.
Very awkward in the Discord channel.
In the driver's meeting. Yeah, that's second hit for the 88, and he's not getting away with that one. The engine completely blew, and that's a horrible hit.
Yeah, that car's done.
That was almost identical to what happened to Travis Beckner.
Yeah, that just something about, I think the stability of these Xfinity cars. It makes it a handful off the corner, and then when someone kind of loses the back end, they swap back ends as Slaughter's going to come down pretty early. Surprising to see a tire set used already, another one. But when these rear ends get out of shape, you kind of start swapping them, and that correction back into someone on your inside can easily happen, as Slaughter's going to bring down most of the other drivers who didn't pit last time, like Justin Munsell.
Yeah, there's a couple of drivers staying out. Not a whole lot. It's about I almost want to say it's almost 50-50 down the field.
Yeah, there are a lot of drivers about 25th on back pitting, so it is kind of a little bit of a split.
So service down for drivers on pit lane, getting themselves sorted out. Brad Slaughter leading that charge. Looks like he's going to be cycling out to around 16th on the racetrack. Skyly, Nichols, Jurashek, Kane, Hearn, Elwood, Bell, both Bells, Matthew and Alex Bell. Jordan Martin, Shane Abbey, top 10 staying out. Then it's going to be Brad Slaughter, Justin Munsell, David Weiser, JT Poole, Garrett Grant, the first 5 drivers off of pit lane. I always love a splitting strategy. Makes things interesting, especially seeing these guys with quicker tires trying to climb their way back up through the field.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because I don't think the tire difference is going to be as big of a difference. Scioli on that run, his best lap was a 29.487, and then his last lap at speed was already at second off that, so maybe we will see more tire wear come into play than we thought, but even then it's still going to be tough to make those passes work, even with a big tire advantage for Slaughter and others.
Take a look at here at the field as we're under caution. We'll take this time to thank one of our sponsors, Rick's Hot Sauce. Race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series. See which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standing. That's rickshotsauce.com. take a look at these drivers pacing around. Trying to see if we've missed anyone when it comes to the throwbacks. So we mentioned Mason Kane. Did we ever identify the actual throwback? I'm going to say, part of me wants to say with the font. Potentially
It's
Jeff
the
Burton?
mom and I think it's the mom and pop scheme.
I don't know if it's a mom and pop scheme, but it's definitely a Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback to 97. I saw it posted earlier. I've been trying to keep track of what's posted so I know. We usually mostly know. Yeah, he posted in the Paints chat. That's a Wrangler car, at least it was.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, it looks more like an AOL car, but looks pretty good regardless. Trying to look through. Saw this.
Bell.
We mentioned this briefly, but yeah, this is another Michael Waltrip Racing throwback from that same season, I believe. Jordan Martin's right there. It's that Great Clips 38. Not sure which variation.
Rowdy Energy, which has just gone out of business.
No, that's not a thing. Don't drink the burner ones.
Yeah, don't drink any of it after what's come out.
That's a new collectible item.
I drank a lot of the normal Rowdy Energy. It was just the weird power burn ones that had the lead in it.
Oh,
if you drank
okay.
those ones, you're in trouble. But
I thought it was the regular ones
fine.
too. I didn't realize it was a specific type.
Well, they shut down completely. So I mean, maybe that just wasn't revealed yet. But
surprise!
Surprise! You have lead in your bloodstream. We'll get more of the throwbacks next time, but there's not too many more to go through. Furnace.
I think we think we had a good amount of them here as we're going back to green on lap 49, coming to lap 50, approaching halfway in just a short amount of time here. It'll be James Skyley finding his way back to the front, now leading the field back to green here at Darlington.
Car on the apron. He's just getting out of the way, it looks like, and they're dooring for second. Euroshak and Nichols, they've gotten aggressive with each other. Oh, Nichols is in the wall hard, and he's crashing.
Oh, big crash on the back straightaway, a hard hit to the inside. Cars being thrown back onto the track. The 31 of Mason Kane getting involved with someone in the background. The caution flies again.
This one, without a doubt, the EOL is kind of going to go to the 12, as there were a lot of big names in that wreck.
Yeah, that was, I mean, far up the track, even inches further up. I mean, the 73 does kind of come down. It's just so hard. That was 4 contenders for the win in one wreck right there. Kane, Hearn, Elwood, and obviously the 73 Jake Nichols. Kane had nowhere to go after 73 got put in the wall. Neither did the other 2 involved.
Oh, man, a hard hit for Cameron
somehow.
Hearn.
Oh, wow, Falliger did a good job. Somehow no one else might have been in that. But the 31's definitely done. The 73's got pretty big damage, but he might be able to continue at least. But 31's toast. Watch this hit. Right there, and then right here. Oh, yeah, the 4's done too. That was a hard hit.
I mean, he got the worst end of all of it. They're right on board with Cameron Hearn.
See here, just all checks up. You didn't even see him until he was in the wall. So there's no chance to react.
Trying to find someone from further in behind that got a good piece of this. Alex Bell just trying to drive on through. Again, it's so hard to see through with that glare coming out of the sun from turn 3. Narrowly able to avoid it.
EOL does go to Connor Yeroshak, by the way.
Oh, and here comes Jeremy Miller trying to sneak his way on by.
Oh,
make sure he doesn't hit the 15 of Alex Bell.
Funny. It was funny. I joined on him as a spotter just so I could talk in all teams in the practice, and it's funny because it didn't seem like he got that much damage when that incident happened, but he did get a meatball, which was odd. So I wonder if there was maybe suspension damage to the rear. But either way, it's going to put him back 2 down, and he'll be the first driver a lap down after Cameron Hearn, Elwood are going to have, and Mason Kane, they're going to have the big repairs. So maybe he can get back in this for a decent finish. Like we said, that attrition rate, it's been one of the talking points all week long, and it's picking up already as Jake Nichols is also probably going to be, might be one of those drivers who is going to be potentially out of contention. Took a big hit. Mason Kane's definitely done.
Yeah, the attrition rate is definitely climbing. Everyone from 34th on down, for the exception of Jeremy Miller, and Greg Mitchell. Actually, Greg Mitchell's somehow back in this race. Back at 41st, but hey, we talked about it, that attrition rate. As long as he can get out there, keep that car running, has a chance to make up quite a few spots.
It's actually well repaired, too. I'm not sure how that happened, but it doesn't even look
like
there's much of a
there
scratch
is
on
something, Kyle was talking about this the other night, too. There's something about this new damage model where it's just it's a little too forgiving as far as how much you can fix. I'm fine with fixing the car, but you should not be able to fix it to near perfect.
Yeah,
almost like the way it rolled off the truck.
Yeah, and it is important for him to get back on track, too. He's 10th in points, 10th points coming in tonight. But with Richard Thomas behind him in points, that effectively put him only a few points above that cut line. Really, he only came into the race above that cut line by, what, it might have been,
I have it on the screen there. I think
9 points?
5 points. Am I reading that right? 5 points? 9?
Mitchell. Senesac was up 5 points into tonight, then Mitchell.
Okay, it's literally like 10 pixels tall on my screen from what I can look at, so I'm like struggling to read it. Yeah, it looks like a 9, yeah.
But yeah, it's important, especially since Mason Kane, he was probably going to gain big on him, just crashed out, so he's going to be able to maybe still gain on part of some of those drivers near that cut line. So it is important for him to get that.
Yeah, Travis Beckner is going to lose a lot. He's finishing down at 42nd, so he's currently sitting in 7. That's going to put him close to that cut line. Guys like Matthew Bell, John Furnish, or Brandon Bowie are all doing pretty good. And we got guys like JT Poole, Bryce Henizak, Mason Kane would have benefited a lot had he kept running, but he's going to be put down the order. Justin Munsel's doing pretty well. So there's going to be a big night potentially for a shakeup near that cutoff as the playoffs loom closer and closer here as we are getting ready and set for the green. We've got 64 of Ed Robertson slow on the bottom.
He's got to be coming down.
He needs an EOL. I think it was.
I was sure he was going to be the pace car there for a second. As he's slowing to get back in the line. Field back in control of James Scully. It was a quick yellow. We'll see here how long we can go. Coming to lap 55 here. Got the 43 Matthew Bell to the outside as we go back green here at Darlington.
Mason Kane's in the wall in turn 2. He actually got back on track, but I don't think that suspension's working at all, so not sure how long that's going to last. Meanwhile, at the front, Scioli's clear of both the Bells for the top position as we got a Bell battle for second. Now Jordan Martin is in 4th, and Shane Abbey's found his way into that top 5 position, albeit with some front-end damage.
Yeah, a lot of new faces entering the top 5 and top 10 as Slaughter is looking to the inside. Sean Peachin up to 7th after all the calamity that's gone on. Then Justin Munsell back inside the top 10 with the 28 of Furnison in that 10th spot as Slaughter's looking to the inside of Peachin going into 3. Going to be close.
Peachin having to back off up on top there. You can see riding on board with Justin Munsell here, working to that inside, trying to see if he can get up to 8th place. Drag race into turn 1 for both of these drivers, and looks like he's narrowly going to get on by. Peachin now going to be side by side with David Weishart, the 33, trying to work his way on past JT Poole, just making a path on John Furnace up ahead. Whoa, how about Garrett Grant going aggressively looking to the inside?
Hey, he could. I saw a tweet. If he gets like 33rd, 40th, or 43rd, it goes towards him getting every position ever in area. But it's running well, so it's probably not going to happen tonight. As here goes Munsell by Delonte Ballard. That's going to be for 7th. So the top 10 or so gets single filed out, as we still got that battle with Grant and Peachin. So Grant gets by. Now it's Furness and Folliker side by side.
Indeed, as you see Slaughter to the inside of Abbey, looking to take 4th away, and he'll do just that. So move him up another spot. Abbey down to the 5th spot, and right behind him that is Alex Bell. The oldest tires in the field amongst drivers. 47 laps, going to be 48 for the Alex Bell machine, as he's got Munsell closing in on him now. Weishart up to 8th, Poole 9th, and Delonte Ballard. Haven't talked too much about him. Running inside the top 10, solid run for the 21 car.
Take a look now, and behind you saw the 15 get passed by the 6th of Justin Munsell. David Weiser, JT Poole here, and Brad Slaughter. I'm just seeing an exchange position between himself and the 38 Jordan Martin.
Gotta say, after pitting and having that crash happen and avoiding it, this really, you know, I'm trying to find the word, it really accelerated his progress through the field on fresh tires, already up to 3rd. He'll probably get Matthew Bell out of turn number 2 for 2nd and take this lead away from the 7 of Scioli pretty quickly. Same for Justin Munsell.
As we see the 15 of Bell continuing to lose spots, him and Delonte Ballard nose and tail, and right behind these guys, Brody Fowler underneath Sean Peacham for the 14th spot. Going to look to claim that in another position. Looks, oh, Bell in the wall up there. Going to be a little bit of a checkup. This guy's looking to go below him.
A bit of contact between Bell and I think the 21 and Delonte Ballard, and that 15 is starting to drop like a rock. And the reason is, if taking a look at how many laps it's been, nope, not that one. Nope, that's broken. Okay, I'll fix it. I'm clicking the button that says stint, and it's showing lap sled, so not my fault. Blame Kyle. He's not here tonight. He's currently in Las Vegas. But what I was going to say, take a look at, is that Bell has been out there for 50 laps. He's got the oldest tires in the field at the moment, so that's why he's dropping down the order and dropping quickly back to 16.
Yeah, second to last yellow, I'm shocked he didn't pit on. He'd be in a great spot if he did, because Brad Slaughter Jr. has taken that lead away from James Scully and is starting to pull away. And next in line will be Justin Munsell, who's closing in on Scully for that second position. New tires coming to the front just about as we get the halfway.
2 weeks in a row that newer tires working to the advantage of Brad Slaughter and even Shane Tiernan cracking the top 10 as Munsell claims second now. So new swap for the second spot. Meanwhile, side by side in the middle of 1 and 2, making contact is Jordan Martin. Made contact with the 26 of JT Poole. Keeps it straight, but going to lose a few spots.
Yeah, he's going to drop back down to this little bit of a train, back to 9th place for him. As you look at everyone working their way through the drivers with slower tires. Ooh, the 26 of JT Poole getting very close to the back end of Matthew Bell in the 43 car. Taking a look at GT Poole here, riding on board with him. Trying to catch up to David Weiser, and now James Scully is starting to fall down.
Yeah, this is really going to be bad for Scully and others who stayed out if this goes green a while, because you're just going to completely kill your track position near for the end of this race. He's going to lose out to Weishart. Here comes Poole. I think Matthew Bell just got a tap from Garrett Grant. So Grant and Shane Tiernan are going to go by the 43 car in the background of this.
There you go, past Matthew Bell. And again, this is, I think, part of it's to do with everyone just kind of trying to guess where the caution, the final caution for a long green flag run is going to come out, Hunter.
Indeed, as there you see, I think that's Mason Kane.
That's Mason Kane, yes.
Rolling through the bottom in the modified division, so glad we have at least one competitor, but I think, nope, he cannot turn the car properly. It looked like he was going to go down pit road, but
look how much wheel he's putting in.
It's a little below minimum speed.
Just a tad bit.
I can't remember who was doing that on Monday, but I know someone was. I think it was Douglas Newbegging. Look at this. That's what you did in the 70s with those cars. That's how much you had to crank it to make speed. This is not making speed.
That was actually the preferred line that they ran, because you see that apron, that dotted white line, that kind of was the out of bounds mark of the lanes that they're running in now. But guys found out that there was more speed up there, and that's why we got the racing that we got here at the Lady in Black Too Tough to Tame. Just crossing the halfway point of tonight's race, presented by Slinger Racing Graphics. It's been a chaotic one, to say the least. Tons of big names have been dropped from this race because of the carnage that's ensued due to the Lady in Black, and the corner exit of turn 2 being one of the more peculiar spots on the racetrack, as Brandon Bowie runs in the 12th spot, Finian. It's been chaotic, to say the very least.
Has definitely been chaotic. Quite a few drivers calling it a night so far, but actually everyone up from 37th is back on the track. You got 38 cars still running in this race, so it's not been too terrible, although quite a few of those cars have decent amounts of damage. Just saw Bryce Senizek getting past the driver. That is the 21 Delonte Ballard, who's starting to make a fall down the order. Everyone who did not pit under the previous yellow is really starting to lose out now as we're 21 laps into this run. Taking a look at where James Scully is at, he's back down to 8th place, and that's only going to continue to fall forward. Matthew Bell still also struggling to hang on to whatever he has left. Got Brandon Bowie diving his inside as he skates on by.
Boy, one of those drivers just inside that playoff cut line. And this would be, with all the attrition, this would be a great night for him to gain on that cut line. But yeah, like you said, this is really bad for those drivers that stayed out. Scully, like you said, the furthest up for the drivers on the strategy, and he's already over 5 seconds behind leader Brad Slaughter. So really got to get a yellow quickly so this doesn't kill you too late, because if you get a yellow with about 30 to go, the track position's gone. You're probably not going to get it back at that point, as Fambro goes under Matthew Bell for the 12th position, makes that work. We haven't seen those passes work a lot tonight, but that one is done cleanly. But those drivers didn't pit. They're in trouble for sure.
One of those that is not in trouble at the moment is the 26 of JT Bull, him and Weishart. And then a little further up the road, close nose and tail, Slaughter and Munsell. Those guys all pitted 23 laps ago, so their tires working in just fine. But Munsell had a close call there with Travis Beckner, almost caught up in a massive wreck as well. So he's starting to make his way all the way up from 31st up to the second spot, just one spot shy of getting that first win. He's been so close over his years in the area, and tonight might be the night, but Brad Slaughter came up one spot short just a week ago, even though it was 3 weeks ago. The most recent Pro Series race at Charlotte, so he's looking for vengeance on that from Shane Tyrion, who ended up going into victory lane.
Yeah, Shane Tyrion now trailing the back of Garrett Grant, just outside the top 5. And looks like he's catching up to the number 5, so might have a chance of making that pass stick and making it work. Nick Massey in the number 20, running back in 7th place, and it's Brody Falker in 8th, with Bronson Stafford trying to hold off Brandon Bowie, and will actually let that 23 car by. So Brandon Bowie up to 9th place, Stafford back down to 10th.
Meanwhile, these battles are kind of getting scarce. Skyley continues to fall down. He's about 0.6 of a second off leader Slaughter as far as the times go. So they're hoping it goes green long enough so they can get a green flag pit stop window. That would help those drivers who stayed out. Meanwhile, further back, you have AJ Roderick 19th in the GoDaddy ski, and that's Delonte Ballard right behind him. Meanwhile, Steve Durham slides for 26th. He's going to save it for now, but I was going to note the progress of Connor Yaroshek as he's still sliding down there. The progress of Connor Yaroshek, he's up to 23rd now after that EOL penalty.
Take a look at what happened in the 1 year off in the turbo. Made contact with Petchin and almost around he went.
Yeah, it's just a tough night for him right now as he comes out in front of Jake Nichols, who got back on track but still a lap down, in line for a lucky dog for the time being.
There's Shane Abbey and Delonte Ballard, and there's the 50 of Casey Lacadas on board with him right now, and the Ryan Newman throwback running in the 21st spot. Been a up and down kind of night for the 50 car, but getting close to where he started the race from in 19th, running 21st at the moment. Good run going for him.
Solid run going, trying to catch up the drivers that have stayed out there and struggling. JT pulled, meanwhile trying to catch back up to David Weishart here. Battle for third between these two. Kane Donham,
the last few laps, just, catching's one thing, passing's another at a track like this. And what these tire strategies did, it spread out the field. There's 7 seconds between first and 10th. And you can see how spread out it is because these two are kind of on their own. As you could look above from our, blimp cam or chopper cam, whatever you want to call it. Still not a conveyor belt around the entire track, but we're getting pretty close there to the point where if this goes green, we might see lap traffic come into play a little bit. So we got a battle, trying to see what that battle is. That's for 8th, Brandon Bowie by Brody Falliker.
And 23 will get another spot. He's up down to 8th place, Falliker back to 9th. And really, the funny thing is looking at where everyone started inside the top 10. You got Johnson Munsell started in 31st. Then Shane Tyrion started in 40th, Brandon Bowie in 38th, Brody Falliker 23rd, Colin Fambro 42nd. A lot of these drivers have really come a long way back.
It's kind of what we saw 3 weeks ago at Charlotte, too. The top 3 finishers started 32nd or worse. One of those was Slaughter. Tyrion as well was one of those, obviously the winner. So if everything goes your way, it can happen. But this is probably the toughest track to be able to do this. As Fambro's doing a great job doing so. Him and Shane Tyrion started 40th and 42nd, and have been able to survive to get through the field. Obviously, Munsell from 31st to 2nd, trying to chase down Brad Slaughter, but last few laps he has been losing out.
If he goes on the win, that'd be the furthest back that anyone's gone to win a race here at Darlington. Currently, the furthest back was 5th place from Cameron Hearn back in Season 1, so not a whole lot there for that stat, as Garrett Grant running in the 5th spot, 5 car having a solid run, and Shane Tyrion, the winner from the most recent Pro Series race at Charlotte, going to tap the wall a little bit in 1 and 2, looking to close in on the 5 and make a move for 5th.
He's trying to make a move, gets a great run out of turn 2. Here he is looking up the inside, down in turn 3, and it'll be the number 9. I'll just slide ahead of the number 5 of Garrett Grant, so inside the top 5 from the number 9.
Some number of battles happen in top 15. That one might be done. One that's may be done now. Bryce Sensac gets by Joey Chapman for 12th. AJ Roderick just got by Jordan Martin for the 16th position. John Furness has been getting on both of those. And then a little further back is where I think we see our biggest, I guess, line of cars. Abby, Ballard, Euroshack's in there. The teammates Lakatos and Alex Bell. So it's about as packed up as it's going to get in this, how mixed up this is right now.
There's Euroshack looking to the inside. Going to go for 20th on Casey Lakatos, I believe.
No, it's Dante Ballard that he's going to the inside of. There is Casey Lakatos now and going by.
Ballard's just going to give it to him.
It's that point where you got to pick and choose your battles. And Connor, you know, as these guys continue on this run, 34 laps in this run for the guys that didn't pit. When's that final pit stop coming?
50. Oh, Peachin just killed the wall out of turn number 2, but he's going to keep it straight. So I guess never mind that for now. Meanwhile, yeah, I don't think you want to pit with 50 to go because that is a long, long run to the end. But I think we see the next 15 or so, we might have to see some of those drivers who stayed out last caution come in. Those drivers who pit, yeah, that was a big hit. Those drivers that pit the previous yellow, I think it's definitely, they're going to try to stick it out a little longer, but they might have to react to fresher tires, as this battle's not even for position, but Jared Miller and Sean Peach have been going at it all race long, and I don't think they're happy with each other, as was Jeffrey Wilson taking evasive action.
I think he senses what's coming, and he's going to give these guys some space. There it is, 69
goodness.
into the number 30, dumps him in turn 3. They're both going to wreck. Caution's going to be out.
Well, that might be a part for the feature machine.
Well, as team owner, I think I need to have words with him. That's not cool. And that seemed rather unnecessary at that. I'm not even sure what this was for, but that's a straight up full throttle, and he should be done.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's probably not going to be running for the rest of the night, even if that engine was still running. Let's go. Let's rewind it a lap, because I think this started around here. There's a bump in the 30, and I think this is when he hits the wall, the number 69. There he goes. He hit the wall. Here comes the number 30 back on the run to the outside. And I think I saw them as you're cutting here. I think I saw them get close right there. They're going to touch again. More door-to-door contact, middle of the corner. I guess it's slowly escalated from here.
I mean, they've been racing hard all night long. I mean, this is obviously not for position, but Peachin's been holding up people this entire run for what I've seen. Jeremy made that pass rather cleanly. All the contact in this battle was strictly from Peachin's end.
Yeah, it almost looked like he tried to do something there. I saw him hit the wall and turn, and I had a feeling this is coming. This is right here. That was the result.
One angry Louisiana dive bomb.
Yeah, doesn't take much talent to do that, but you know, I try not to be biased, but it's kind of hard. It's hard pill to swallow. He is 40th in points, so not much to battle for him. But he'll definitely be gone this week, and we'll see what happens next week. So, meanwhile, that does give Jake Nichols a lucky dog. He'll be back on the lead lap, and everyone's going to take another set of tires after that. And the battle off pit road is going to go to David Weishart. He beat Slaughter out completely. Slaughter lost 3 spots.
Yeah, David Weishart, Justin Munsell, JT Poole, Brad Slaughter, Shane Tiering, Garrett Grant, Nick Massey, Brandon Bowie, Colin Fambro, and Brody Folliker will be your top 10. As everyone came down to the pits this time, I think they all sense that we're getting to the end of this year, and I think they can make it. They should be able to make it from here on out, if I'm not mistaken.
Eric Wineland said in the iRacing chat that he was good on fuel, so we might have been seeing drivers trying to completely stretch it, but that's out the window. We can definitely say that we are definitely in our fuel window to make it from here. And that's really not what Scioli and Furness and other guys who were on old tires wanted to see. They wanted the green flag pit stops to play out, but instead now we're going to have a restart with about 45 laps to go, and that track position is going to be tough to gain back at this point in the race.
And I think we're going to take just a quick moment here before we go back to green and take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back for the green. All right, we're back here at Darlington here, coming to the restart. We have just about over 40 laps to go in this one here, and it is starting to heat up. Everyone's come down to pit lane. Everyone's got some fresh tires on. It's David Weiser leading the field with Justin Munsell, Slaughter, Poole, and Garrett Grant, your top 5, as James Scioli drops down the order back to 12th. So this, guys, I think it's going to be a great end to this race.
Will be for sure. Meanwhile, in the back, Jake Nichols got the lucky dog and his internet might have given out. So that's going to probably end his run again back to the front. Meanwhile, yeah, Weishart takes control of this race at a very crucial spot.
Now let's see what's going to happen here. He picks the outside lane, leading him on down as we are back green here at Darlington. Justin Munsell not the best of restarts, but Brad Slaughter in behind. He's going to try to make his way on through the second.
It's going to be tough. We've seen this end badly. Early, Slaughter's loose. He's got to save it. He misses the wall somehow and keeps it straight. I don't know how he didn't even hit the wall out of that. That was incredible, but he's going to lose a lot of track position late in this race for that.
Could be worse. Could be in the wall and could have collected a number of other drivers, as well as Brody Falconer in the 42 had a big moment coming off of turn 2, but he stays straight and we stay green. Meanwhile, Colin Fambro up to 7th. Stephen Massey down on the bottom. Actually, is that his name? No, it's Nick Massey.
Nick Massey.
My apologies. He tries to make the pass on him. Actually, he did. Sorry. It's too chaotic going on right now.
Stephen Massey did not make it tonight. I think there is one, but he's not in area, I don't think. Meanwhile, battle for the lead heating up. Munsell wants it.
Munsell wants it. Will he be able to take it, though? That's going to be the big question here. Munsell versus Weishart for the lead.
It's going to be tough to do so, but I think he's been faster than the 33 most of this night. But the track position is what matters with 40 to go, and if Weishart can have a great defense, it's all he really needs to do at this point, play defense and keep this one, but Munsell's going to pressure him for a while.
Both drivers looking for their first win of the season in the Pro Series. Munsell looking for his first ever win in the area. Been so close to doing so and is just on the bumper of Weishart. Going to be interesting to see if these two can duke it out or if the 7th guy... massive
loose.
Moment.
Wow.
Massive moment coming off turn 2 for Justin Munsell in the 6th. Holy cow. Going to be interesting to see if the 7th Scioli can catch back up now that everyone's on even playing field.
Yeah, big moment there as he hangs on here as the battle will continue between these two for the lead. Is really coming down to the nitty-gritty here. It's just a matter of making sure these drivers don't make a mistake or make an error as the sun begins to set. Actually, both of them having a great run and breaking off into the distance.
Yeah, these two are well ahead of JT Poole. We wonder if JT Poole might be trying to conserve his stuff and let them battle, but you don't want to let them get too far ahead to the point where you may use up too much tire to get back to him. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. It's Weishart, Munsell, Poole, Garrett Grant, and Shane Theory in our 4th and 5th. They're getting close to battling. Slaughter had a great save, but he's back to 6th after it. Nick Massey, James Scioli 8th, and then Stafford 9th, or excuse me, no, Yaroshak sliding out of 2. He saved it. He was in 11th. He just had to make a save. He hit the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. My gosh.
Take a look at that and see what happened. Had a big wiggle off the turn, too.
Just tapped it on his own and then trying to turn left off the wall, loses the back. Matthew Bell did a good job staying off him.
They continue on. I think I just saw Jake Nichols slow on the bottom. It's coming back out on the track.
Now 5 or 6 laps down.
Been a night to forget for the 73, but he's done pretty well in the standings, so, and if I'm not mistaken, is locked in.
Yes.
He doesn't have a whole lot to lose at this point, but probably feels like he's wasted tonight. Look at these guys having a battle here. Here's James Scioli still trying to work his way up through the order after mishap down in pit lane, or something happening to him down in pit lane. Still never found out what exactly put him so far down back, but back up to 8th now.
They're trying to just find lost time. He did overshoot his box from looking back at it. That's what put him back to 4th. Then the slide put him back to 6th. But now it's going to be tough to keep the tires in a good spot to have enough grip to even get back up there. He's going to have to push pretty hard. He's not really gaining a lot on Theory, and we see it not the previous lap. as Munster's going to look top for the lead. He's not close enough to get side by side, but trying different lanes with just under 35 laps to go.
On board with Jordan Martin running in the 12th spot, trying to keep the 12 car of Euroshak held back, but to no avail. Here he goes to the inside as he's looking to climb back inside the top 10 after his moment in 1 and 2 just a few moments ago.
And we'll get the job done here. Looking back, a lot of drivers single file, fairly close together. Dante Ballard, Alex Bell back here in 19th. AJ Roger, Casey Lacotte, Eric Wineland, all these drivers battling down here. But we look back up to the front of the field. That's where the main battle is for the lead. Weishart and Justin Munsell. JT Poole trying to see if he can catch up to these guys up ahead, but not quite close enough.
Quite yet. Just needs a little bit of battling between these two. We've seen every night a side-by-side battle through 1 and 2. You could lose like a second of time. So they start getting the battle side-by-side. That's when JT Poole needs to try to attack and gain a lot more time and push even harder. But right now, there's not much potential for a side-by-side battle. Munsell hasn't proven that he can get up there to even have a look to the inside or outside of David Weishart as that gap increases just a little bit.
We're 5th and 6th on the racetrack, close nose and tail, as there is the onboard of 6th place Brad Slaughter. Was running in the lead at one point, now dropped down in just a hair outside the top 10. Gonna have a nice run here off turn 2 and down the backstretch on Jane Tyrion. Meanwhile, a little further back, you see the 7th Skyley still trying to work his way up on the Massey machine. Running in the 8th position, just hasn't found the grip that's been needed to go higher up on the leaderboard.
Yeah, not quite the grip he needs just yet. Then Colin Fambro, Bronson Stafford, Matthew Bell, Connor Yurchak in their own battle a little bit further on behind here as the laps continue to tick down here. Just about inside 30 laps to go. Ooh, is there double file up back here? That's never good to see.
Oh, big crash. Was that?
Yeah.
That was Greg Mitchell of a wall, I think, with Steve Durham.
Oh, Steve Durham on the wall, and no caution will
yellow.
fly due to him being off the track. Well, what happened there?
That was Durham into Garcia.
Yeah, he was spinning down to the infield, and does it come back up? This is a bad rejoin. Oh yeah, it is. Oof, heavy hit for Greg Mitchell.
That's a terrible rejoin.
Poor Greg Mitchell. I mean, he's just in this race logging laps, 21 down, and now he's got even more damage. That will definitely not be looked at kindly.
Let's see who Brad Slaughter's fighting hard with the number 9, 8 versus 9. Battle for 5th place between these two.
Steve Durham. Oh, Euroshak's having another slide through 1 and 2. It has been a struggle since his EOL. Now he's on the apron. Let's watch this rejoin. Oh, it's not going to be as good. He gets turned by Joey Chapman and Bryce Senesac into the inside wall as well.
Oh boy, it's a graveyard down here. Wow, several drivers collect. Take a look at the replay. What happens? This is initially what happens. End up sideways in turn 1. We're starting to look at that, and then you're mentioning the rejoin here as the caution will fly. Here he comes ahead of the number 60 and a big stack up with Senesac flying into it. That
time, I think Euroshak gave. Oh my God, there was Richard Thomas. I think that Euroshak gave the room to the high side. I think Joey
was this
Chapman
the caution?
Because Senesac will roll back onto the track, as we'll see.
There we go.
And they did. I was about to say they black flagged Steve Durham for that incident. So they're not happy with Connor Euroshak. Senesac's talking about it, but he gave up the top lane. I think Joey Chapman just kind of misjudged it. I don't really think that was on the 12 completely.
Take a look back since we have the time now at this incident a little bit further. That's what Senesac saw, not a whole lot of it. Right on board with Joey Chapman since he got a clearer view. So here he is. You can see the number 12 come back on the track. Yeah, that was a fairly poor rejoin, I gotta say.
It was a poor rejoin. I don't know how much you can. I mean, he could have done better, and he didn't have a good rejoin at Charlotte as well. So I think there's going to be more of a to-do about the rejoins. But
better attempt at a rejoin than what Durham did.
Yes, I would say so, but still didn't work. Cause I guess it is what it is at that point. And then Chapman. I don't know who Chapman is. I'm thinking, well, Joey Chapman, obviously. But I was talking about Senesac just comes back on track to trigger that yellow to come out. We'll get a view of this rejoin here. See how much room is to the outside. And he gave more than a lane to the top. Chapman, I think, Obviously, it's not a good rejoin, I know that, but I think Joey Chapman could have done a slight bit better just judging it better. He just, I think, got caught in between both lanes trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, everyone else comes down for their pit stop.
Yep, pit lane is a very busy place because, again, I think this is a lot of drivers anticipating this to be potentially the final stop of the race. It'll be Weishart off pit lane, then JT Poole, Garrett Grant, and then it's going to be Justin Munsell, I think Shane Terrian, and then James Scioli will round out your top 6.
That was a pretty poor stop for the 6. He might have missed a stall as well. He goes back 2 positions. So that puts JT Poole in second with Garrett Grant in third, looking to maybe score a bit of an upset, potentially.
It'd be a huge upset if Garrett Grant were to win.
Has Garrett Grant gotten a win in the series?
I'll have to check on the series, but it's been a while since he won.
I don't believe he does. I don't see a win for Garrett Grant in this series. Does have the most starts, but no wins. 12 top 5s in his Pro Series career.
Interesting. So that's I'm trying to look at anyone else here. Weishart, JT Poole. So got a lot of good names near the front of the order. James Scioli's been trying to get his name back near the front of the order, but it's been a slow climb. Up to 6 so far.
And he can't afford a slow climb. We're going to get a restart with probably 23 laps to go. You can't go slowly. You got to get these spots now. If you're not in the front 2 rows for these last few restarts, it's probably... you're probably not going to have a shot at the win. So Scioli's got to get something here, but he's going to be restarting on that outside, which you can get spots up there, but it just depends on which lane goes. Going to deem that last yellow a racing incident.
Sure, quite a few drivers will disagree with that assessment, as drivers typically do.
That does take Euroshack out of this race for good. Ever since that contact with Jake Nichols, he didn't really recover to even get back into the top 10 after that, as Travis Beckner's going against the inside wall.
I was going to say, Travis Beckner is even out on track. That's...
Yeah. He's trying to get some positions.
Long way down the order, 61 laps down. As it stands, no, I don't think he can pass anyone, can he?
He's 61 laps down. Hearn and Elwood are 55 down. He can pass those two, and he's 24 laps behind Mason Kane.
Well, no, he's already passed Hearn and Elwood. He's way past them. He can't. I don't think he can pass Mason Kane.
That's not what I see on my timing sheet for some reason.
Yeah, on my timing, I actually had to reset my timing. if anyone noticed the timing screen going away on the screens, because for some reason everyone finished on my screen and then it wasn't showing the gap anymore, so I had to discreetly restart it.
That's interesting.
You know what? That may be why I'm not seeing it correctly.
Jeremy Miller just wrecked on the backstretch.
Uh-oh.
What in the world?
Is it a full moon?
Something's going on.
I don't even see where he is.
We're gonna get back going green, but
yeah, his car is pretty destroyed. Not sure what happened there, but we're gonna get the green here. Or just over 20 laps to go back green. Weishart leading them down. Poole, Munsell racing it out with Garrett Grant also in the mix, trying to see if he can upset the balance here.
Grant got chopped. That really lost him momentum. So now here goes Scioli. He's going to get that spot. And they're going to crash.
Garrett Grant getting turned in the back on another wreck. 2 wrecks on the back straightaway. Caution flag again. Eric Wyland a hard hit. And more hard hits with the 56. AJ Roderick. Oh, they're still wrecking.
Well, that was a chaotic lap. But
yeah, it was. All right.
What in the hell?
Let's try to decipher what on earth just happened.
The 2 wrecks at the same time. I saw the 50 and the 15 spin in the back.
Look at further on back, AJ Roderick. He got hit by the 41 of Garcia, and the 15 was already spun around. Take a look and see what happened to Alex Bell. So the 50 was loose off the corner. This is how the second wreck started. John Furness kind of helped finish the 15 off. That was that second wreck, and then we got to take a look at. I'm trying to even see who to look at.
Slaughter and Grant was the one up the front. You see, Garrett Grant gets such a poor run. Slaughter tries to shoot the top, and they just come together. We've seen that already a number of times tonight. But that didn't end up being too bad until Wineland killed Garrett Grant. They had a big hit, but Slaughter's going to get away with that. A number of others won't. Just look at this. This has been the Boeing backstretch has been a war zone today.
It really has. Eric Wineland right on board to see what happened from his point of view. He's been having some internet connectivity issues tonight. There he's just getting around the 50, flashes out a little bit there, and then comes back. Oh man, hard hit with the number 5.
Yeah, he's just been trying to manage with the internet, and that could have played a factor. He might not have even seen him, but even before those two crashes down the back straightaway, I still haven't been able to get a look at what happened to Jeremy Miller. But we'll get a replay of this. You know, these two come together off the corner. It's just racing at Darlington. We've seen it so many times. Not much either driver could do. But yeah, like I said,
since we have time,
let's
with it. Take a look at what happened to Jeremy Miller, who has called it a night, it seems, or he's still getting essential cares on pit lane. This is coming to the green. He got hit. Oh, he got hit from behind.
What in the world? I don't even know how that happens.
But really, it must be a flow. I think it was Delonte Ballard that hit him.
Was it?
Looked like Clayton. I thought it was Clayton.
Oh no,
Montgomery.
it might have been Clayton Montgomery. You're right. You're right.
I would hope it wasn't Delonte. They're teammates. But
where is Clayton Montgomery?
45 car is still 15. On track.
That's not. No, it wasn't Clayton Montgomery.
That was Richard Thomas.
Oh, it was Richard Thomas.
Richard Thomas. There we go.
Apologies.
Now where's Richard Thomas running? I'm trying to find where he is.
He's now up in the 21st position on my timing, on the iRacing timing. He could be somewhere else.
Oh, wait. 25th for me.
There we go. No, they've had issues in the past. I don't even think this is intentional.
No, I don't think it was intentional. I think he just didn't understand how off base he was. Oh no, I think Jeremy started to slow up. Yeah.
Jeremy's been getting bullied tonight. Not in a good season.
We say sometimes you're the bat, some nights you're the bat, some nights you're the ball.
These are the juiced balls from 2019 that Aaron Judge was hitting 500 feet. That's what Jeremy is tonight. Because, my gosh, it's been a rough season for him. He's down. He's made every race this season, but down 37th in points and likely not to get better.
Got to restart it. Kyle Harris is not with us. He's actually in Las Vegas. I mentioned he's in Las Vegas. He is currently covering the Indy Autonomous Challenge. So he's doing that fun stuff, and the rest of us are left back here to cover the show for him. I think he should be back tomorrow or Saturday. I think he should be back tomorrow, pending weather. There's going to be a snowstorm approaching Chicago. He was concerned that his flight was going to be canceled or delayed.
Yep, it will definitely depend on weather. That's at least what he told me Tuesday.
And if not the weather that he has to worry about, it's the plane. He was joking. He was thinking he was going to fly in a 737 MAX 9. And being a 737 MAX 8, which is not particularly better.
No.
with its recent flight history. I don't know what he's coming back on. I think he's going to be hoping maybe an Airbus.
Just don't have a window seat.
Yeah.
No. Just not the emergency exit window seat.
The front overwing emergency exit in particular. But
yes.
Yeah. Hopefully, whatever happens, he comes back in one piece so he can return to sim racing coverage here. But speaking of sim racing coverage, we still got a race on our hands here. These leaders coming to 18 laps to go here. If it goes green to the end, it'll be done in under 10 minutes. But we'll see here. It's starting to kick up here. The action, anticipation, potentially the wrecks. We'll see what happens here. Into the restart zone they will go. David Weissart off and away. And we're back green here. James Calley now up into fourth place, trying to take away third and second here with a drag race with Justin Mutzel into turn one.
JT Poole is going to go to that top line to protect that. Oh, and the contact!
Oh,
and
no!
And it's Munsell and Skyholi. Oh, and Slaughter kills the 6 car, and another contender out late. And now Ballard's going to spin. My gosh.
And that car is destroyed.
I think Ace Lakatis almost hit him, I think. But, gosh. Turn 2. You cannot avoid it. Left front's not even moving. That's so many fast drivers who could have won this race out tonight. That's incredible.
Well, you were talking about the attrition rate earlier on and the fact that it was potentially going to be high coming into tonight, and I can definitely agree with you. And you can see Justin Munsell coming into pit lane. I'm sure he's frustrated. 16th in the points coming in, and he is stuck down in pit lane. You can see the frustration on his face, having to get that car repaired, and I don't think he's really going to be able to.
Not in time either. You can see the frustration. I mean, this was one of the best races of his season so far. As we'll get the Simrat Market replay. We're still on Richard Thomas. We'll catch back up, but him and JT Poole comes down, and there's a little bit of contact, and Munsell just overcorrects, and then back into traffic. Nowhere for Brad Slaughter to go. And Delonte Ballard just spins, avoiding. Keeps going back to Richard Thomas for some reason.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was wondering why that happened. It was like I made a bookmark, which I did not, but here's another look at it.
Just the slightest contact can make something like that happen. Poor James Scioli recovered to get back maybe onto the second row to compete for this win. That's going to end his night, just like it ended early Tuesday night as well. He didn't make the Monday race, so not a good week for the 7. There's obviously 4 wins. He was easy locked in, but it will not be a 5th win tonight.
Let's see who else.
They rolled it as netcode.
Really?
It's racing. I don't know about netcode, but that was racing. There's not much either driver could do there.
Right on board Brad Slaughter. Oh, man. He careened into the number 6.
There's nowhere to go. Tried to sprint through it and ran out of room. More contenders out, the better for Weishart, though.
Justin Munsell's point of view.
Down right in front of Brad Slaughter.
Slaughter led a good bit of laps tonight too.
He might have even led the most.
Take a look at that. Actually, I haven't seen the laps led. We'll take a look at here. Brad Slaughter 24 to his name, then Justin Munsell 17. Who else has been in the lead? James Scioli 20 laps for him. He's actually pretty evenly dispersed here. Jake Nichols. Actually, Nichols has led 0 so far.
He will not lead anymore.
31 for David Weishart. I think he's one
so
of
that's
the
the
highest.
most.
Yeah.
He led for a while. Someone else, one of the low dollar cars led for a while, I thought. I don't think it was JT Poole.
Was Jurashak in the lead at any point? I don't know. I think he
Maybe
got
not.
close.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
On check. No laps led. Mason Kane. There you go. 23.
Mason Kane, yes.
Yeah,
but
so.
Weishart actually leading the most.
The most recent leader. And if anything, that might allude to the fact he might not be in the lead for much longer at the rate we're going at. He's got to try to defend.
He just keeps getting good restarts. He can avoid calamity out of turn 2, which he's done well so far. And if JT Poole could get any part of him, it's going to be difficult for Weishart to keep him behind, because JT's going to be aggressive. As Weishart takes the bottom, we'll restart coming to 13 laps to go. And plenty of new drivers in the top 10 now after all this unfolded. You got Therian and Matthew Bell on road 2, Abby Massey, Falliker and Fambro, and then Jordan Martin and Bronson Stafford in our top 10. And John Furness had issues earlier in the night. He's up to 11th. And we haven't even talked about Clayton Montgomery, even though I misidentified him when the Richard Thomas and Miller accident happened, but he's up to 12th as well.
Has the leader always chosen the outside lane more than the inside?
I think I've seen a mix. I think I've seen they mostly chosen the outside. I think 1 or 2 times I've seen them take the inside lane. Actually, want to take a look at some stats before we go back to green. Have we really only had 3 cautions?
There's no chance.
Oh, right. No, I've restarted this. So I think we've been closer to, I think 6 or 7 is more of the accurate number. Again, forgetting to restart this thing. Lost some of the data.
So we've had 1 leader.
David Weishart, every lap.
Since I restarted this thing, David Weishart's been the only leader. We'll see if he's the leader at the end of this race, though, in just a couple laps' time. Back green here at Darlington. Now it's JT Poole, Matthew Bell. Matthew Bell, I haven't seen that 43 up near the front for a while. Here he is now with the charge chain. Tyrion is inside.
Another side-by-side battle at the front out of 2. If it works this time, looks like they will give each other more room. Falliker in the wall, scrambling down a back straight, but everyone keeps it straight as Poole is clear for second. The battle's for third.
And battle for third continuing to heat up. Therian on the bottom. Then you got the 43 on the outside. And they're close to hitting the wall. Shane Abbey coming up on the scene. Looking to take one, maybe two spots away from this.
He's going to try. Shane Abbey's going to dive. He's going to clear the 43 up to fourth place. Matthew Bell trying to fight back hard on the inside. They're going to be side by side off of turn 2. Give each other enough space. It'll be the 43 back in front, but they've lost some time. Nick Massey now trying to take advantage of the situation. He's going to dive to the inside of that 84. Then it's Colin Famer, Brody Follicker also in behind.
Top 2 are gone now. You could say top 3 are gone. Everyone's stacked up behind that 43, but it is frantic coming to 11 laps to go as Weishart just trying to run from JT Poole. Side by side, that's Abbey and Massey for 5th. And Abbey's going to clear in the middle of 1 and 2. That's tough to do, as everyone's still kind of sorted out. Nico Garcia to the bottom, but trying to save the car. But either way, somehow everyone's still keeping it straight for the time being. Also, Scioli's on the lead lap still, but he's only back up to 20th.
They're continuing the battle all throughout the racetrack. They're coming across the stripe, and I believe we got 10 to go on the racetrack. David Weishart, last win in the Pro Series, came from Chicagoland a season ago. JT Poole has never won in the Pro Series, came close to winning in Cup, and he's gotten some truck wins under his belt, but has never won at the Pro Series level. After starting all the way back in 16th, he's worked his way up to 2nd and is just a few car lengths shy of reaching his first career win in the Pro Series. 9 to go for Weishart.
Yeah, just look at the concentration in his face. Normally we're used to seeing GT having a big smile on his face. That smile has disappeared. It's just pure focus. His win is just a 0.2 of a second away from him at the moment, and he's running out of time. 9 laps, really less than that, 8.5 laps left to go for him to try to see if he can catch back up to JT Poole. It's been catch back up to David Weishart. He's been one of the more dominant cars here tonight, especially after a lot of the other heavy hitters have bowed out.
And it seems like his strength is 3 and 4. He's gaining in 3 and 4, but David Weishart is getting a much better exit out of turn number 2 and kind of gaining that back. JT was a little slower last time by. He did gain a decent bit in 1 and 2 that time. He just has to be so consistent, and he has to be very brave through this track. You need to be brave here to win at Darlington. That's what he's going to have to do to even get to the 33 to have a shot.
And Nick Massey's starting to get a little brave, getting up on that outside lane. Going to get a little momentum push coming out of turn 4 as he's closing up on Shane Abbey for that 5th spot. Meanwhile, Colin Fambro, right behind him in the 18 car, has made his way to the 7th position after starting all the way down in 42nd. It'll be a good finish for him regardless of what spot he is inside the top 10. 7th would be a strong finish for him. Brody Follicker in 8th there, and a little further back, we got some side-by-side action. That is Casey Lakatos in the 50, door-to-door, with Jeff Wilson making a return. Oh, my goodness! And Lakatos almost made a return to the inside wall.
We'll stay on the inside wall for now. A bit of a hip check. Almost saw potential another caution here. Yeah, I'm sure for David Weishart, just hoping everyone keeps their cool.
Oh my goodness!
Wilson. Oh man,
my
I think they're wrecking actually. Yep, there's Wilson, and the caution is out. I was just about to say, David Weishart's open. Everyone keeps it calm. Everyone keeps it collected. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Let's take a look and see what happened.
Montgomery didn't get a good turn 2, and the 85 just came up on him, tapped him right into the wall. I mean, massive hit for the 85.
Or Joey Chapman involved in another one, but Lakatos not happy with him over the radio, but he just looked to the inside, and Montgomery, I don't know if he shut the door here. We'll get a look. He just sees a hole, takes it. Montgomery definitely chops a little, but I don't think he's expecting the 85 to go for him, and then Nico Garcia, Joey Chapman nowhere to go, and obviously Casey Lakatos had even less of a place to go, as we might get our green-white checkered attempt here.
100% will. It's within 6 to go. Anything inside 6 to go, yellow-wise, would be a green-white checkered. As I believe Tuesday night, there was a yellow with 7 to go, and there was an unscheduled green-white checkered.
St. Dante Ballard just scoot around that incident here, but coming down to it. So, sorry, did we say, is it going to be green-white checkered or just close to it?
Definitely looks like it's going to be a green-white checkered. We're pacing with 4 to go.
Yeah.
So, we didn't get 2 to green here for sure. So, definitely green-white checkered, and that's probably the best thing David Weishart could see. Honestly, I think JT Poole had a better shot at him if it went green, and I think Weishart has all the power in the world to get a big enough jump where JT Poole won't even have a shot at him here, and he's probably gonna have to contend with Therian for second.
You know what? Since we got a little bit of time, this will be the final restart. Why don't we take a chance to talk to JT Poole? Hey, JT Poole, SimTV booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, JT. Well, you've been sitting in second place here. You're right in behind the leader, Dave Weiser. You've been following him for quite a while. What's the game plan here with coming to the final restart of the night?
Well, I wish that yellow didn't come out. I think we had a better shot if that went green, but we just need to get a good jump. Kind of hard gauging when he's going to go because I don't want to get a black. So hopefully we don't lose too much ground. We really can't get too far back to even have a shot, but we're pretty even. Yeah, just try and get a good jump. Hopefully I have some help. Yeah.
All right, JT. Well, I think we're going to be coming to 1 to green this time by, is it, or is it going to be 2? Oh, I still got another lap. All right, so I'll ask you one more question. So what's it going to be? Is there going to be a little bit of conservatism here on this restart, or is it going to be complete full send against Weiser?
I wouldn't say there's any conservatism. I wouldn't say it's full send to where I'm going to wreck the guy, but I haven't had a good run in an area in so long. It's been pretty frustrating. Things haven't gone our way, so want a good finish. I'm not going to not go for the win, but I'm going to make sure I don't lose. So, yeah, we'll see how the restart goes. I'm happy with the run we've had today. Includes the Pines. 26 been pretty quick, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, JT. We'll let you get concentrated. Let you prepare for this final restart. Thanks for talking to us.
Yep, thank you.
All right, there you heard from JT Poole here, getting ready to warm up, getting ready to go here. And I think the big thing, obviously, a lot of times that we've had these restarts is that, especially with a green-white checkered, is that typically we end up seeing the caution come up pretty quick back out.
It's kind of what we saw on Monday night. We got the green-white checkered attempt, and they did not make it through 1 and 2. We see that a lot when we have these types of restarts in a crazy race in the area, which is unfortunate, but it's just kind of a nature of having a crazy race and a green-white checkered at a tight track. It's kind of bound to happen, especially with everyone pretty much going to be on old tires, so we might see even tire spinning on this final restart of this race. As we get the 1 to green, we'll go 1 lap extra tonight, and David Weiser is going to try his best to get out in front of JT Poole before they get to turn 1.
If he's close enough, we could see potential Louisiana dive bomb. It all depends on how this restart goes for David Weiser. Once again, going to restart on the inside line and Poole on the outside, so not going to be too much of an advantage there. Maybe if the 9 of Therian times it up, he could move up another position, but for the most part, it's looking like he might get back-to-back podium finishes, and that means talking with us, and that's always the most exciting battle on the racetrack. Not the lead, it's always third.
Yeah, no, it completely matters whether or not you finish inside the top 3. Every other position, you can forget about it. You definitely want to be talking to us. But, again, I'm really curious to see what JT Poole is going to do here. You know, he mentioned he hasn't had a whole lot of luck in this series. I think he wants to turn that around. We'll see, though. Weiser going to be the one to try to prevent him from doing so. Final restart here of the night. 2 laps left to go. Weiser, Poole, Therian, Bell, and Shane Abbey, your top 5. We are back green here at Darlington.
Poole got about as good of a restart as you could get, but he's not going to clear Shane Therian. Actually, he will in turn number 1, so at least a little bit of hope as Therian slides to the top to protect Matthew Bell, and he's in 43.
He had a great run off the corner, but had to back out, Hunter, as he's looking into turn 3 and 4.
Getting closer to that bumper of David Weiser, closing in on him, trying to get that first win in the Pro Series. You heard it from him first. It's been a long time since he's gotten a good run, and he's going to have one more shot at it to the finish. White flag in the air, one final time from Darlington.
See what he's going to do here, riding in behind the bumper, the 33 and the 26, chasing each other now into the back straightaway. One final attempt for the 26. Do we see the dive on? Do we see the move for JT Poole? He's not going to be close enough there. He's going to have to ride in behind. Bell and Therian racing out for third, but up for the lead. David Weiser coming out of turn 4 will lead by just about 1 car length over JT Poole to the checkered flag, and it'll be David Weiser that will win here at Darlington in the Pro Series.
That was a heck of a defense by Weishart. That's closer than I thought JT Poole would get. He gave it his all, but Weishart was calm under pressure, gets this win, his first, I believe, at this track, at Darlington in the Pro Series. So heck of a way to do it, as Therian will give the congratulatory bump, as well as that Kyle Petty throwback's going to victory lane tonight.
Indeed it is, and what a win it is for David Weishart. Like you mentioned, has a won here at Darlington, so that's his 5th career Pro Series win and first of the season. And as mentioned, first since Season 4 back in Chicagoland, all the way back in July, so almost half a year for David Weishart in the 33, and quite a chaotic race to say the least, guys. I mean, tons of good names that were contending for the win, and even that top 5s, top 10s, they all just kind of shuffled out of the way, and here comes the 33 of David Weishart, and he had control of this since he took the lead, and celebratory burnouts is deserved for that Matco Tools throwback.
Yeah, solid job there here as we go through your finishing lineup here. Weishart with the win. Poole just 1/10 in behind, so close, but not quite close enough. Shane Terrian running out your top 3 with Matthew Bell, Nick Massey, Shane Abbey, Brody Falker, Colin Fambro, John Furness, and Bronson Stafford rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, Furness good recovery to get the 9th. A few others who had to try to make late race recoveries. Jordan Martin kind of fell out of the top 10 late. Delonte Ballard 15th. Scioli had to recover in that late race crash to 17th. Richard Thomas Bowie. Alex Bell, who's kind of lingering top 15 all night long, falls back to 20th. Bowie was up front late as well on that long green flag run we had, back to 19th. A lot of Chevys in this part of the running order with a bunch of Toyotas mixed in as well. Almost an even split, no Fords as we go further back with Lacatus, Garcia, Eric Weiland, and others.
And then we start to see some of the names that were contending it for the win up front. Jake Nichols finishing 27th, was able to get back going just 5 laps down. Then you see Brad Slaughter there, led a good portion, over 20 laps of the race, and finishing 30th, 18 laps down after getting caught up in a late wreck, and Finian 31st on back. I mean, just absolute heartbreak for those guys.
Yeah, for a lot of drivers here. Justin Munsell, driver running up near the front. Garrett Grant, we saw him get awfully close, but not quite good enough. AJ Roderick, Jeremy Miller, Conor Yurishak, another driver near the front. Greg Mitchell, who just could not catch a break tonight. Mason Kane, another front runner. Travis Beckner didn't really get to see what he had in store, but he had a pretty quick car stuck in the midfield. Cameron Hearn, Alan Elwood, and then the final page of drivers, Justin Sogak, Ryan Hartz was out very early on. Sean Petchin and Ryan Swan, who didn't start your field of 43. Full field tonight here, but not everyone finishing. But one of the, well, as far as the top 3 finishers are concerned, we'll talk to Shane Terrian, who finished in 3rd. Shane Terrian, SimTV, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Shane. Well, you ended up finishing in 3rd. Weren't quite in the running for the front, but I mean, I think from after starting in 40th to be finishing 3rd, that was a pretty solid night.
It was. I finished 3rd Tuesday, carried the momentum, and got 3rd here. I need to start either qualifying in the back or just running in the 40s, because I ran 42nd at Charlotte and won. I read 40th here and got 3rd, so I think I should. I don't know. It seems like a trend's going on with me lately, but I mean, I'll take it. It's good momentum. Back to back. That's 3 top 3s in a row for just area as a whole for me. I haven't done that in a long time, so it's good. I'm pretty happy about it. It's nice to be competitive again.
Yeah, really saw. I mean, it is always nice to be competitive. And looking at you, I mean, you have 1 win this season so far. So obviously, going into playoffs, there isn't that pressure of making sure you need to make it into the playoffs. I would say you're pretty much locked in. So what's the game plan for the rest of the season heading in? Is it just a matter of just kind of nailing win after win, or trying to get into a rhythm, build up some momentum for the playoffs?
Potentially building momentum and then just keeping the team points alive for at least our drivers. Good team points. Today's first time we've had 3 cars in the top 10, I think, ever as Sky and area, so we'll take it. Yeah, just focus on team points at this point, and then we got to try and get adjusted into the playoffs here.
All right, well, Shane, solid 3rd place finish. You've been enjoying that consistency lately. We'll hope you can keep it up for the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, and with that, we're going to move on to our 2nd place finisher. We talked to him under caution. Unfortunately for JT Poole, wasn't quite able to finish it out there at the end, JT, but you were awfully close.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just needed a better jump. I'm surprised I didn't take the top, because we got a crazy run off of 2, but we were even in 1 and 2. I was better in 3, so, I mean, I followed him the whole race. I wasn't going to do anything crazy at the end there. I mean, shout out to him. We drove both really good races. But yeah, it sucks. This season, both pro and truck hasn't been how we want it. I don't know the last time I was in the booth, so I mean, good to get a top 3 again. But I really want to win again. But yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because you were talking about it when we were talking to you before that final restart. You said you felt that if the race continued green, you would have had a better shot. Why is that? Do you feel like you're just kind of slowly wearing him out? Do you feel like you had the better car at that point, or you were better on the long run, or why do you think that was?
I mean, at that point, I lost so much ground on every restart leading up to that, and I would gain that ground back. I mean, we were pretty close to even. He may have been a little quicker, but I started running up a little higher in 3, and I was starting to gain a lot of ground 3 and 4. So I just knew if we had a restart, it was going to be hard to make up all that time lost in just 2 laps. But if I had those final 5 laps, I would have had a better shot. I mean, even still, I don't know if we would have won. I think second was probably where we were going to finish regardless, but I think we would have had a better shot if that had gone green. But
all right, well, JT, thanks for talking to us. A solid second place finish for you. Obviously, it wasn't the win, but it's still a very decent run.
Yep, thank you.
All right, moving on, last but certainly not least, is our race winner, David Weishart. David, you haven't had the best of runs this season, particularly in the Pro Series, but I'm sure you're elated to get one out here at Darlington.
Yeah, I've been in the air quite a bit this season. Last time I was in this car, I had a wild wreck, so this car is usually not my favorite. I think this is only like my 3rd Pro Series win. But ever since the start of this new season, these cars feel different. They feel like they're in the track, and I have a really good feel for them. And I love this track. And I didn't qualify that great. I really couldn't get going for the first 10 laps. Car was just a little too loose for me. But I could really save the tires, and every time they would start to kick in, we'd get a yellow. And to be honest with you, I don't know how I ended up cycled towards the front there. I think we had one decently long run. I was able to finally clear all the guys that stayed out, and I had a hell of a pit stop. I got around Justin and Brad, and from that point on, it was really just trying to hold on because, like I said, I didn't have the short run pace. I was really nervous that I was going to get jumped. But the longer we went, the more restarts we had, the car started coming to me, and like I wanted it. So happy to come out of here with a win. I've needed it. Trucks have had a pretty good season, but in Cup in this series, it's been bad. I think I came into the race like mid-30s in points. So I don't even know if I'm eligible for the playoffs, but a win definitely feels good.
You're a bit out of it. I just checked the updated points. You're back at 35th, and I'm pretty sure you need to be in, the top 20 to get a clinched spot with a win. But regardless, still a solid run.
There's time left.
There's definitely time left. One thing I was going to ask you, coming to the end of it, we're talking to GT Pool. He was hoping that it went green. He felt like he would have had a better shot. Would you have preferred, to have a bunch of cautions to the end? I know you said you're lacking in the short run pace, or would you have rather just gone straight to the end?
If when we first came out of pit road and I had the lead, I would have rather just gone green, because I feel like on the long run I had enough pace. Even if somebody was a little bit quicker than me, it's so hard to pass here. I could have held them off. And then once we got towards the end, I was getting such good launches in the restart zone. I actually didn't mind the yellows, because at that point the tires had some age on them anyway. So I felt pretty good about that. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds there for me. So, like I said, my arms hurt. My hand was cramping up there towards the end. Glad to come home with a win. I tweeted earlier, my brother made this bomb paint for me. I was really looking forward to this paint. I love it. And I tweeted that it deserves to be in victory lane, and that's where we put it.
All right, David. Well, thanks for talking to us here. Best of luck to you, not only the Pro Series, but the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, with that, that'll be wrapping up interviews here tonight from Darlington. Gentlemen, we had a pretty solid race all around. A couple cautions here and there to slow the pace down, but some excellent racing from all these drivers.
Yeah, a decent amount of yellows at the near end, but we still had a pretty good racing once we got to it. When the lights came on, it got pretty wild. We saw tempers flare big time for sure, but like you said, when we had the green flag racing, it was pretty fun, and we got very close to having green flag pit stops. We'll wait another season for that to happen once again, but at the front, we had so many people go back and forth through the field. The 7 Scioli, the 73, the 12, the 31. I mean, there were so many drivers in this field that could have won this race. And at the end of the day, turn 2 bit a bunch of them. It took a lot of them out of this race. At the end of the day, David Weishart, like he said, he got a pretty good pit stop on one of those last sequences, and it got him the lead he needed to take this win away. So that came down to a little bit of an attrition race, but either way, that 33 was bad fast, led the most laps, and a slimmer of hope for playoff chances, but either way, he'll take this win.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Some of the biggest names in the Pro Series today were contending for the win, top 5s, top 10s, and they were almost all of them were virtually taken out from being involved in chaotic crashes over the course of this race, under 30 laps and maybe a little more. So we had a green-white checker there at the very end, but in the end, David Weishart comes through unscathed. Him and James Scioli, the only 2 drivers to go without being involved in any incidents. They got a little bonus point for that, and David Weishart gets his first win on the season. And Finian, next week we're going short track racing, so it should be a blast.
Yeah, a bit of a split between the series. The Cup Series on Monday will be heading to Richmond. Truck Series on Tuesday heading to Michigan, and then back to Richmond here next week for the Pro Series on Thursday night. But that'll be all for tonight here coming out of Darlington. My name's Finian Jacuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy. Thank you for watching.